What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with this My Hero Academia live reaction. Default speakers changed. That's worrying. All right, how y'all doing? Actually, yeah, they had almost reversed and blown out on me. Good thing I caught that at time. All right, how y'all doing? How's my church in MHA? Let's see. No, 346. Am I tripping? Let's see. What's gonna happen? Hey, all right, Tyler Hawk, Lamar Arrington, yep, Cameron Bailey. All right, there we go. Tunisia Greer, my people coming through. Hey, Denzel Wadi. Hey, Alves. Giordano Giovanna. All right, my people starting to pull up quickly with the swiftness. And Tiger, but man, oh y'all, tell me how y'all week been. It was my little sister's 24th birthday this week. What y'all got going on in your lives? Which my little sister's 24, so let's see. Brendan De La Cruz, yep. Hey, I understand, Brendan De La Cruz. Sometimes you gotta live life. We always say the whole thing. I feel like it makes sure you know for sure we talking here. I don't know. Let's see. Chapter. I saw like a single square, like a single panel randomly got thrown on my timeline because somebody took a screenshot of somebody posted a screenshot. My camera's over here today, not over here. So I saw something that'll look kind of crazy. It had the wrong response that I would have liked to have seen for a discussion of that magnitude. So it probably couldn't be that. So we'll see. Now, let's see. Thomas is saying it's an amazing chapter. All right, let's see. What, 19, 21. Oh, 21. All right, we're going in. I want to start this chapter. That way I can bring in the bishops, bring in the special guest that I was thinking about having on today. Let's go. Opening up. All right, we get the Shigaraki team, Edshot, Nijire, Sun Eater, and Mirko with Bakugo at the center. Super hyper unfair broken stage. Deku isn't here. We don't have one for all. How did this happen? Hell if I know. He was dragged somewhere else. This is really bad, right? Having him here was one of our key assumptions. We got to let everyone know. Whatever, this party's already started, so let's rumble. Let's see. We just got to go toe-to-toe with history's deadliest villain ever. And Shigaraki is staring around, getting his assessment. The horizon is so far below. I'm in the sky. This place is floating. None of the escaped convicts or Liberation Front people came along for the ride. I'm alone. But it doesn't matter. And hey, don't take over my head this time. Me. Okay, so he's not distinguishing between himself or the Tenko Shimura / Tomura Shigaraki and all for one mindset. He's now looking at both as him. So it's just a matter of, it doesn't matter which him is in control, neither him, he's telling the other him not to take it over, which gets kind of confusing. But I'm thinking this is currently Shigaraki in control, especially since we immediately get the default to decay. And then we see what the bulwark plating actually does, because there's one plate under. Let's see. And then, so that falls down, he jumps up and, okay, so we talked about this, an electromagnetic barrier. Yep. We had talked about this. If they were gonna have all that lighting and all that other stuff, it was kind of clear that it was supposed to be some kind of force field. Hey, Joseph Cielo, how you doing? So we get nice force field, which explains why he can't escape. And then we see, okay, we're going straight into Genus making a move, an electromagnetic barrier. My muscles are locking up, but still, oh no, you don't. There's a gap in your seams. So he's got his arms, body wrapped, and gives him the good old slam. As long as your brain and muscles are still operating your body, then a powerful electrical current will make you stiffen up. Even someone who's superhuman will be helpless, if only for a brief moment. That one segment of the ground was launched up high and crumbled in midair. Is it a mechanism to keep my decay from spreading? No matter. This scheme will be your ruin, Genus. We're floating up in the sky, yeah? The ground here is a precious resource, and you're practically giving it away for free. You needn't worry, Kaklane. We are replete with that particular resource. Have you truly not figured it out yet, Shigaraki? Is your brain short-circuiting from that shot? This arena was constructed solely to defeat you. It shall be your coffin in the sky. Man. See, I like how you can tell Horikoshi's having fun drawing the school up in the air like this, because this is the second wide shot we've gotten of it already. It shall be your coffin in the sky. Plates F1035 and G1045 have been damaged. Roger that. Let's fill in those gaps. And we got Cementos making more plates, them tossing it through. Sure thing. Can we get some spare parts over here? What was your name again? It's Creati, but my friends call me Momo. All right, so we see that Momo's got like 3, 4, 5 different advanced technological parts coming out, all designed, of course, for updating and keeping up with the barrier. So I like the fact that we have this consistent, like an actual barrier maintenance team, and then also keeping Momo here where she can strategize instead of trying to have her be like a frontliner battling or anything like that, when we know that hand-to-hand combat is not Momo's specialty. I'm really having to readjust to my camera being on this side. So yeah, good decision making all around, good team allocation like that. So our grand assignment was finding a way to contain you with your ability to cause instant widespread death and your speed on par with that of All Might's prime. Observations from your 2 battles since your great awakening led us to this ideal arena. Great, let's make it fly. It was all made possible by a 16-year-old young lady. All right, so we get confirmation that the clutch factor here, the main person who designed it all, was Hatsume, paying off dividends again for these characters being, around. And especially in the case of Hatsume, I was recently rewatching Provisional License Exam and kind of getting that whole, we set aside time just so that she could work and do all this stuff, and how you saw the whole pile of inventions when you got to see that small window into her brain in that time period in August. So it's really nice to see that we transition from that August all the way to the next May, and she's able to make UA fly because she's been making hundreds of inventions in the meantime. Good stuff. Let's see, the shelter evacuation site system created by the principal, plus a mechanism to counter your decay, and yet another program to miniaturize the segments of blocks and launch them like drones. The remaining problems were a lack of materials due to the ravaged economy, the tight turnaround for the construction, and the prodigious amount of energy required for the mechanical systems and electromagnetic barrier. Okay, so you got Kaminari here firing it up. And then you got Manga Fukudashi, who I guess can create an automatopoeia for the sound of electricity, which then allows him to generate electricity to then help power up the system, which does once again tie into and has been like set up like during joint training when you had him creating humidity based off just the sound effects of the humidifier. Officially, without question now, this dude is technically a reality warper, and I love how quietly this is like a smaller scale new order that technically seems to have less limits depending on how he utilizes it. Just going to take him being a bit more creative with what sounds he chooses to make in the long run. Focus up first years. We're basically second years at this point, right, manga? This plan falls apart without us. We got to give it our all to keep Shigaraki locked in. You bet. Your boy Charge Bolt is mega charged. Everything we have built up and worked toward is powering this tomb of yours. Not for honor, not for glory. No, those of us here making this work do it to ensure that the world will see tomorrow. We are those who stand against the doom you bring. So proud of your toys, but not for long. One well-placed shockwave. Joke's on you. Or did you forget that crappy game of ours back in Jakku? And then here it is. Okay, so now we know where Monoma is. He's back at the UA. So all the resources, what this does is lets us know that eventually Monoma has to become a target. But what that also allows for us is for us to be aware of the fact that the second Monoma becomes a target, we have to assume that that's the big sign that Deku's finally going to be close. That what this seems to indicate to me is that Deku versus Shigaraki will be a quirk-based battle, but this one is going to be one where they try to do the same thing over again. Let's see. This effectively locks us in place, but as long as he's making continuous contact, Monoma can circumvent the 5-minute limit for copy abilities. With all these factors in place, we assumed One for All would give us the advantage, but now bad news. This Midoriya isn't here. Let's see. Dynamite, got any intel on what the hell that is? Dunno, never, not to mention Shigaraki's body was still imperfect back in Jakku. And then, oof, just a smattering of hands right into Mirko. I think, well, now I have to look, okay. Let's see. Because with this being a bunch of flesh splurting everywhere, it's hard to tell if. Okay, I don't see decay lines, but I will say that if he can just manipulate his body because it's not or it's complete now, he's just able to make a bunch of hands or generate a bunch of hands out of that's wild. You turned out to be quite the, I used to think you were so cool. You turned out to be quite the letdown, Eraserhead. Okay, so that lets us know 100% it's Shigaraki in there, but wow, that's went pretty hard with that. All right, so now we got to considering his body seemed to have been based around singularity. I'm guessing that this is to let us know that he can't actually this isn't just a quirk thing. This is his very body reacting and changing. And it could even be that with his quirks inactive, his body overcompensates and does stuff like this. But it's hard to tell. Let's see. Let's get some bishops in here because wow. Yowza. Let's invite some bishops. Let's get some bishops up in this hoe. How y'all doing? Y'all enjoying this? Let's see. Momo just instantaneously memorized all that stuff she created. She no longer needs her book decoration. Well, I mean, the whole point, if you remember back during the UA Sports Festival, even when they showed her training for the UA Sports Festival, it was like she was reading a book. So just so she could create more stuff. So it's not like it's that surprising that the end game goal would be to not have to carry a book with you everywhere you would go, but instead be to just kind of be able to remember what you need to remember, what's actually useful for your missions, have that on mind, and then just recreate it on the fly. It also basically puts her in a situation where unless she's unconscious, Momo is objectively a character who should be able to get out of most situations. So that's a massive benefit to her and more of a reflection of her preparedness than anything else. Let's see what else you got. Yep. The side character as the reality warper. Yep. Hey, J. Michael Holmes. Dr.
Alves, please. No, not right now. Not right now, Alves.
Let's see. Oh, man. I don't want to talk about the Dr. Stone chapter.
I know what you mean, but I fuck with it.
Like, oh, Joseph Ciola coming through with the super chat. Won't be able to stay long, but wanted to show my support while I'm here, and you are appreciated, Joseph.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, what you said about manga and being like him being a reality warper, as soon as I saw that, that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, what? Like, he's
I've said it before. I feel like it's one of those things that's really easy to forget. Like, if he wanted to, he could just, like, for all intents and purposes, he could also just show up and be like, zzz, 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 and then do that and just create like an intense static field within the area where like as soon as you start moving around or you make contact with somebody, you end up getting electrocuted. If you just wanted to make like that droning sound that you get out of like a Tesla coil or something like that. He can do a lot just by making like noise.
Class B characters are very versatile with their quirks. I'll give him that.
Like if he was going like you could argue that that's a pit of lava, and as long as that's what his intent was, I'm pretty sure it would like carry through in the translation so that it would kind of give the idea of what he was going for. So yeah, manga's a full-blown like reality warp realistically. It's just that he's never going to be front stage. Also, you think that's a dead bunny or
no? You asking me?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I've had plenty of discussions with people in the server about this since the chapter came out. I think she's gone, and I got reasons for thinking she's gone. Specifically, Shigaraki's demeanor on the last page. It seems like this attack is something that he intended to do, and they have no idea what it is. So they're getting hit with an unknown. It's not a known unknown. It's an unknown. And she's getting hit with that. And if you zoom in, it really doesn't look like somebody told me that maybe her gauntlet could get showcased here. It doesn't look like that's in a predicament to do anything. It looks like that's getting swallowed too. Her leg looks like swallowed. It seems like I see blood, but I don't know exactly. I think she's going, me personally, but I'm not going to rule it out like for her living. I could see it, but I can't see it right now.
It's a shame too that I already know that there's people who are going to be like, this is horrible writing.
I've already seen it.
And I'm like, can y'all just admit that you don't like when characters you're attracted to die?
And then they go like female character, like, oh, he killing the females. Like, I've seen that. Like, no, that's not what this is. We have a maimed male character getting insulted on the same page. So,
but also, of the characters who we've seen stationed at this battleground, she's the only character that would do this particular movement to get herself killed here.
Exactly. People aren't factoring in her character too. Like off the rip, she was like, "Cares if Deku's not here?" Like what? He's like the main key to this whole plan, and you gonna just rush in, ask Bakugo, "Oh, what is that?" I don't know. Now you get hit with some shit.
And niggas not wanting to admit the truth. That's crazy.
Because like, which is funny because anytime that a character decides to be all hot-headed and reckless, no matter how much I enjoy them on screen, what happened at the end of this chapter is what I always kind of want to happen to them. Like, shonen manga has this weird tendency to over-reward being reckless and dumb and not thinking shit through. So whenever a character is punished for actually being reckless and dumb and not thinking things through, I'm like, yes.
Like, what it do, crew? You already know who up in here banging. It's undefeated on the East.
All right. Hold up. I gotta send somebody the link.
Yeah.
Yo, look, I've heard that too. People are saying like it's the same thing with Bakugo. Where I said, oh, Bakugo could die, and people are like, oh, he's too popular, Hori likes him too much. It's the same thing with this. Oh, he wouldn't kill his bunny waifu. Like, why is that a restriction that you're putting on this man?
Bro, like I keep saying, nigga, the only people putting restrictions on Horikoshi is the fucking fandom, and it's fake restrictions. Like it's literally been stated. He said himself, fight your editors on anything, tooth and nail, don't budge. The editor said, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know when it's ending. We just let him do what he do. So like, I don't know why niggas be like, oh, he can't do this and he can't do that. Who the fuck are you? What you gonna tell him? And the people he working with, they're supposed to tell him what to do, can't tell him what to do. What do you think? Imagine like you niggas tell him like that popularity shit after two popular series of Jump, they don't give a fuck about that. I'm not gonna name names, but yeah, Aniki knows exactly what I'm talking about. A couple of series, they don't give a fuck about your popularity, chief. So like that don't faze me. So that's
Well,
like
I know Hori loved Mirko. We all know that, but that's not. I don't think he would just keep her alive for the sake of that. Like, and you see the cheeks on this last page. That's probably the last time he gonna draw that. So that's crazy.
The reality is that if he wants to kill Mirko and decides I want to draw her again, he can do that later. He did that randomly in sketches all the time.
Yeah, like he don't have to keep her in here. Like, yeah, like she going for it. Yeah, like he can't draw his own character ever again or something.
Like,
Carlos, hey, hi everyone, by the way. I hope everyone's cool. I want to ask, do you think Mirko's dead like now? Because the blood from the hands, for a split second when I read it, I was like, is that blood from Shigaraki like overusing like all these hands and maybe his not his quirk, but his body like having cracks and stuff? Because I was noticed like when I was doing the stream, somebody was telling me that Shigaraki has cracks, and I was like, I don't know if it's like going to be too deep because of all his modifications, but maybe he still can't use his body that well, which would make a lot of sense, to be fair. But I was confused whether that's Mirko's blood or Shigaraki's blood. I know part of me is trying not to like say it's Mirko's blood, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I don't know. That was where I was half and half. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, some of it's Mirko's, but I feel like the dots are more so Mirko's blood than the actual like thing. Because even like when this hits her fully, we have to see that. This is the first impact. I don't think the full brunt of it has been seen by us as of now.
It hit her full on too. Like that's
hard,
like it's gonna take a second, but it's gonna take a second for us to fully see all the damage it actually did to her.
Like, the attack still going.
So,
like, not over
real
yet.
quick, zoom in. If you pull up that page, if you look towards her right knee, that seems to suggest that there's like the speed at which this came out might have been enough to like kind of rip her apart. But because like you see there's the K line and singularity lines on the other fingers, but that specific spot by her knee looks like an impact zone. So it looks like he kind of tore off her leg. So from that perspective, you can look at some of these other things as potential blood spurts. Because if you look towards that finger that's coming over her right shoulder, going back to her left shoulder, there's that blood dot too, like it could have grazed it as it was coming out. So like it could be grazings. It could also be like this is just a byproduct of all his hands like and fingers like spawning and causing blood to spurt out. But this is looking like he actually got a solid blow in.
I've also guess she might have gotten impaled by one of the fingers too. Like that we haven't even her stomach probably.
Cause like
oh my god.
Yeah. Like could she live? Sure, but it feels like the specific point of this panel is to show us that like this is not going to go over easily. This is not going to go over smooth. And we were getting so much optimism this chapter that it's like, no. I have to make sure you understand that this is not just like like
hey Joseph, I had to delete that comment because it spoiled something. It spoiled a major death in JJK. People don't know about that yet.
Man, who cares about JJK?
I really need to read JJK. I'm up to
Hold on. I know I didn't just hear what I think I just heard.
I think you heard what you heard.
Oh my God. They have my prince on here.
Hello.
Hello, Thomas. Long-time supporter and viewer.
Thank you. Now that I'm here, I could talk for 2 hours about Deku. Even though you only have one mention.
Yeah, man.
But no, I'm team Dead Bunny. I think she's dying.
I mean, she's not leaving the battlefield, but I wouldn't.
We've all spoken about it. We've all spoken about it. Like my stance has not changed. I'm like, nah, bro. She looked dead. How is she making it out of this?
I'm saying she main. She not making it out this battlefield, but she main. I ain't counting on my chickens in yet because I know plenty of niggas gonna be like, she dead, and then if she not dead next chapter, niggas gonna throw a hissy fit. Mark my words, I bet money right now. I bet money right now. She getting main. She at the very least, she getting main. I bet tokens right now. I bet tokens right now. If she not dead next chapter, watching people for this shit. Oh, nobody dying. He copping out. This, that, and the other. He just gonna be cliff like, all right, nigga. She got fucked up.
Also, though,
gonna get winded. And
here's my thing.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Sorry, no, don't worry. You don't have to apologize. Because like, look at this, and like, just look at the starting five this chapter. Because you got Genus in the background, like the bench player he is at this point. Like
bench player talking the most shit.
Like, do you want Nejire dying here.
Yo, I think Nejire might get her quirk stolen, y'all. I'm putting that on.
Yo, he told me that
That
shit
would
was
be
scary.
peak,
That's
man.
a scary thought. Not
I'm
because
putting
Nejire
the table
homegirl.
because her quirk is easy to use, and with that regen, he might be able to counter her weakness. I'm putting that on the table.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's fucking dangerous. Like, not just because it's Nejire. It's the fact, like, if he take that shit and boost it, oh my fucking god.
Wait, can regen stamina though?
Yeah, it's vitality. It's her vitality, so that would essentially be that. Because Shiggy still he's regenerating his entire body. That would require stamina too. Because like when he heals, it's not the same requirement as like because it's just like the normal. They don't need stamina. They can keep going all day. Like they don't have an energy bar. Yeah. They go all day long.
Out of anybody to get their quirk stolen here, like, you know, I say Nejire, Bakugo probably the most likely people. They got easy to use quirks. It's not going.
I don't think so. I think Tamaki Headshot.
I think at this point, I don't even think easy uses should be the thing with Shiggy anymore because that nigga outclassed Deku immediately after getting all his quirks. Because Deku took a long time to combine shit. Even just now, he ain't really been combining shit like that. Shiggy came out the tank. It was using airways and radio blasts while doing that and managing to inactivate the normal all at the same time.
He was tweaking. He was going crazy.
The real question is, when do you think Deku arrives? I think everyone's winded before Deku's back.
Everybody down there dead.
When Deku comes, Deku's gonna have a Goku moment where he comes when everybody's like on the brink of death, like about to die, and then
maybe that's why Hori didn't. You know that sketch that he was originally going to use for, I think it was chapter 30. The one with Deku holding Bakugo, and he's
you mean volume 30? You mean volume 30?
Was it volume 30? Sorry, volume 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why he held it back because this is when it's gonna happen. If that makes sense.
He said he couldn't use it.
Shit, that'd be cool.
It's a thing. This is the thing about using that because niggas was bitching like, oh, he could have used this and other. So I was like, you want a bunch of crippled bodies? Wouldn't it be better if they were actually dead? Like that would be raw. You just want a bunch of crippled bodies on there, really?
Bakugo for sure is gonna be near death when Deku comes.
Oh, it's over for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And Poison Tree, the thing about it is, no, they wouldn't have a good chance because that's the point. Like Tarner said, Shiggy's regen would counter Nejire's vitality, the draining of that. That's the point of it. That's why it wouldn't like work as a weakening him. That's the point of taking it because the regen would just counter her drawback.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was confused why Nejire was there, not with like Dabi and Shoto. I thought she'd maybe want a little bit of revenge and like, you know, because the combination of Nejire and Shoto's attack actually is really good. I thought she'd be with them, not with against Shiggy. I was like, why are you here? Like, I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I understand why Nejire is here. You know who I'm confused about? I'm really confused about Sun Eater.
Bro, hold on. I'm gonna have to address this real quick. Because you was really asking where Sun Eater and Fat on that time they was gone. And now he back. He's like, yo, what you
Bro,
doing?
He's on the wrong battlefield right now.
Bro, you don't know. He might have some heat, bro.
No, you know where Sun Eater should be. Sun Eater should be at the location where there's lots of villains to mop up. Like he
should be with Fat Gun, to be honest.
He's with Shigaraki.
What you trying to say, bro?
What is he doing?
Okay, what was Mirko? What was Mirko doing before this?
You see what happened to her though.
Yeah, she's dying.
I like what S. Ali said. It's not Deku who arrived, but Shigaraki who will escape and find Deku.
I mean, sick,
I like that. Yo, if he uses search to find Deku, I've always wanted him to do that.
Oh, well, at the same time, a couple people dying before that shit even happens, but at the same time.
A lot of people gonna die.
Bro, can you imagine if the fact that Shigaraki bust out this bitch and kill some niggas and then he make that shit fall out the sky and then go after Deku?
Actually, that's the question. Does Deku even know where floating UA is?
He knows like the general location. He knows that they were going to be there to battle him, but it don't really matter because he can't get there. Because like they said, they got to get these niggas 10 kilometers apart, the bare minimum. Ain't nobody clearing that ground, and Deku not finna just lead these niggas here. And if Toga stick to high ends, he gonna be preoccupied dealing with that shit. So he can't just leave like he want to leave, even if that was the case.
That's another thing. I missed the stream last week. What did you guys? What was your theories on Deku and Toga? Because I think he's just gonna like maybe she'll snitch on Ochiko, and then Deku will be a bit more like, how to explain it, understanding of Toga, but still say I need to take you down. I mean, what's your view on that?
I mean, that's the point, because they already, like, Ochiko and them already acknowledged, listen, y'all can't be redeemed. Like, no, y'all not getting slapped on the wrist. Y'all have to pay for y'all crimes. But at the same time, we need to I'm trying to understand why y'all do what y'all do. Like, you could come to an understanding and still clash. Deku's not going to be like, all right, Shigaraki, I'm going to talk to you before anything. And then, you know, I'm just going to get you a slap on the wrist. And like, no, that's what niggas try to make it to be. But he said, listen, the fight is inevitable, but I'm still trying to find out what makes him tick. Why are you the way you are, and that, this, and the other? It's nothing wrong with understanding the people you're fighting. Just all for a better future.
I think in that instance, I understand what you mean by Shigaraki, because Shigaraki is more of, okay, I need to take you down first before we talk. Like that one, there's you can't talk to Shigaraki first. There's no way. It's not possible. But with Toga, I feel like it's different because, you know, Danger Sense didn't activate. So that alone, Deku is like, do I need to fight this girl like ASAP, even with all the nomas? I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, because, I mean, with her, it's a situation. I don't know anybody that's saying like she going to change sides or whatever. No. But
that's not happening.
Shit, yeah, that's not happening. We already seen her conviction, and she already went down deep, and she says it's too late for that shit. They all acknowledge that. But there's nothing wrong with still getting the answer from the person you love. She said, I wanted to talk to Deku and Ochiko. So she just still wants to get an answer. That's closure. I know everybody knows what closure is. That's just closure. That's all that merely is. It's like,
it's kind of like
right,
sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead. You go.
I was gonna say it may not relate the same, but it's kind of like, you know, Magneto. Like you know, Magneto is not a good guy. He's doing some evil stuff, but you understand why he's doing it. Like, you get what I'm saying? So maybe that's the same. Obviously, not to that level, because it's not like, you know. I mean, Deku and Toga does have a Magneto and Professor X relationship, but at least it's somewhat like kind of like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just watching. I was just reading Avengers versus X-Men. You know, that comic issue. I finished it. Shit was pure gas. But in that regards is the fact that, like, basically Scarlet Witch, you know, wiped out the mutant population damn near to almost extinction. And then, you know, they didn't have many people left. But then they had a new mutant. She came by. She was supposed to be the new Messiah with the Phoenix Force. You know, give them hope to restore the population, or whatever. And the fact that she was like. And it was like funny because once Scott, the Boy Scout, you know, Cyclops, he started going down the wrong end. It was like, all right, you know, y'all want to take away our one hope. He was like, well, she's a threat. We need to keep her contained. It was like, no, it was like they were kind of come to understanding. Like they understood, each side understood where the other was coming from. They each had their points, but it was just an impasse. It's like, I understand what you mean, but we gotta do what the fuck we gotta do. So at that point, it's just gonna be like, we just gotta have to hook. And who are winner take all in that point, because that's just what it is here now. It's like, I just want to understand, what would you say in this case? And this all it is just closure for her. Like, okay, this is what Deku would have said. That's nice to know, but at this point, that's all this fucking is. Yeah,
we also have to take into account. We also have to take into account if she uses like the Sad Man's Parade.
Oh my fucking god!
It's game over.
They ain't no way. I just heard the voice I fucking heard.
It's me twice. I'm back from the dead.
Go! Oh shit, it's twice. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Damn, twice. I didn't know you came back from the dead.
Yeah, well, you know, the Deadpool gig wasn't really going anywhere. And so I was like, I asked Horikoshi if I could be back in the comic. And he said it's a manga, which got me real confused. So, you know, I'm just chilling. I'm just waiting for my time.
Don't worry, man. We're gonna pack that bird up, man. We're gonna pack that bird up, I promise.
I hope so. That guy is a jerk. He wasn't very nice to me.
Don't worry. Anybody that harms my friends is a piece of shit.
That wasn't even a scene. That was just live footage, and they put it in the episode. How's everybody else doing?
I'm doing great.
Absolutely fantastic, bro.
I'm
loving
good,
the
man.
stream.
How about you? They hear about us every damn week. What the fuck? They motherfuckers ain't heard from you. I mean, I text you, but these niggas ain't heard from you like fucking
5 billion years.
Yeah, basically.
It's true, Mr. Waffles. The world has
Hi
been
there.
waiting.
Hey. Yeah. So basically, my boy Aizawa and my boy Monoma and my boy Shinso all doing things. I was just like, holy crap. Obviously, Aizawa does things all the time, but I was very, very, very happy with just how he just consistently. I think he might be my favorite like mentor character now because he just keeps getting the ever loving crap beat out of him, and the story's like, sorry, Aizawa, you gotta like deal with it or whatever. And so, and so I like that for his broken quirk, they just keep finding like really fun ways to keep it relevant. And everyone's just like, Aizawa, just please die. Please. You break. Horikoshi used to keep you from breaking the manga. Now you just do it constantly. Stop.
Well, I mean,
I think even Shiggy's. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I think that's why Shiggy's like, you're not cool anymore. He's tired.
Yeah, he's like, you're not fun anymore.
It's just like when they gas somebody up, but they keep getting like fodderized every time. It's like, all right, nigga, you know. It's like Vegeta. That's like how Vegeta keep getting like hyped up, but then he just like keep getting his ass whooped. It's like, all right, you know. It's like, all right. I used to think you was that nigga, but now you just all right.
You pulled up on the same. You used the same trick on me 3 times, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing that makes him so upset is because it works every time.
It does, yeah.
It's not like he gets beat and then he didn't accomplish anything. It's like, crap, you like crippled me entirely for this whole battle. And then my timer was up, you jerk. Stop doing that. It's how many times do we have to keep teaching you this lesson, old man?
Oh God. Shout out shit. That's what he told that nigga all for one. He was like, listen, bro, get the fuck out of here. Don't nobody want to hear from you. You got your own battlefield. You stay over there. This is my time.
You can flex your silly mask all you want somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my boy Shinso, I love seeing him get to do stuff. I love that he's just like, I see. Manipulating people's minds and doing it to their will is okay when they're jerks. Now I understand my true purpose. And so, so him brainwashing the parents of Aoyama was great. And then just Monoma just getting to be the sassy boy. I love that he must have requested like a chair, that little jerk. And I appreciate that he's just like, I'm just gonna sit here. Because like Aizawa doesn't get a chair. Why does he get a chair?
Monoma's the star, that's his throne. He's the king.
Yeah, that shit's funny. Like he's sitting on his own. That shit was so funny, but raw is like he's sitting on that nigga's side. Like I like this nigga. This nigga Mona Horikoshi wasn't lying about this nigga getting a fucking so Horikoshi wasn't lying, but I didn't get a big ass point in the final act.
About Monoma, what you think about Shoji?
Boy, I can't even imagine what Shoji finna pop off with.
Yeah, I really hope Shoji. I mean, obviously he'll get something, but I hope it's really cool like this.
I'm trying to see what Sero popping off with. He got some Sero. I was like, hey, he said, hey, Sero finna have a goat scene. I said, hold up now. Sero? I need to see that. I've been waiting because he been teasing that since sports. He's like, I want to do something cool with this guy.
He delivered on 2 people, so Shinso and Monoma.
Yeah, he doubled down on Monoma. Real talk.
Yeah, I hope Monoma gets one more thing to where it's just like, haha, you thought you forgot me?
Well, one of the things that I thought
he's the MVP for the moment.
Oh my God!
Yeah, Bonzi.
So one of the things that I really wanted from Monoma and kind of threw out on the table in one of my reviews was that he has the ability, by all rights, to bounce between multiple points. And if he had wanted to, he could have popped somewhere into the All for One fight, looked at AFO, and that likely could have sealed the deal there, just like that. But I don't think they thought about, but they wanted to not leave Shigaraki any time with his quirk. So
yeah, which makes sense. You gotta have one of them taken out completely if possible. I also really like the just the battlefield of the UA place. Just like I love the idea of like everybody working underground. I don't know if anyone else got this vibe, but it kind of reminded me in like Gurren Lagann where they're just like, we need more drills, bring them upstairs. They're like, we need more concrete.
Oh yeah, that does give that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh man, this chapter was interesting. I will say, I really love the fact that Shigaraki said "me" for the first time in a while. That he was, I think, like I don't know if he's back, but yeah, it feels good. I'm curious what what we will see in the next chapters, because the state of Mana Shigaraki is one of the most important thing I think in the last arc of the story, because it is not all that concept about it being destruction and everything and I'm really curious where Horikoshi is going to with him. But yeah, and Deku, my man. Oh, bro,
Where are you?
Where are you when we need you?
Hey man,
And
listen.
Deku come home. Deku come home.
Listen. He had all his time. Okay, he ain't the one that had his body.
He doesn't have enough. He needs more.
He ain't had his body snatched for like they got them past umpteen chapters. All right, I'm happy Shigaraki back in control.
I'm sad. Listen, I'm sad because nothing is ever easy for my boy. Because you know what? Like Aniki said in the beginning, when Deku comes, quirks gonna be already on the table. He already gonna have his quirks back at that point. So Deku's not gonna have this easy fight with quirkless Shigaraki. He gonna have to fight Shigaraki at his best. It's gonna be hard for him as always.
See, but this is the question now. What is that second quirk that he has, or sorry, the second user's quirk that will help give Deku the leg up against Shigaraki? I'm still trying to rack my brain around it. Someone in my stream said energy manipulation, maybe like
guys. I have an idea.
The spirit gun at this point. You go ahead. Yeah. Oh, Sayas is here by the way too.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Sayas.
Oh, Guten Morgen, Sayas.
This is all for Thomas.
Sorry, yeah, you said everything.
But guys, I'm telling you right now, the second quirk might be like a power friendship type of quirk.
A spirit bomb.
Oh. Yeah.
I thought that before when the second was like the thing Deku needs now, like back before they brought Deku back, the second said something like the thing Deku needs now is ... and then it turned out what would be friends. And that's when I thought it would have been something with the power friendship kind of deal, but they never really brought it up after. So I think because that would have been the time to bring up the power of friendship thing. So I don't really believe that anymore because too much time passed and stuff.
I also don't think he's gotten the second user's quirk yet based off what we were shown. Because there's an in-canon like visual for when Deku has access to one for all users quirk, and we've yet to see the second user sit down in the chairs. Every other user is sitting down when we see that he's got like users 4 through 7 quirks. When you see that like layout, 2 and 3 are both in the back room, and then 1, 4, 5, 6, 7 are all sitting down. Those are all the quirks he can use. Once the third user lets him use Fajin, when you get a cutaway to the inside world, he's sitting down. And the second user is the only one who isn't sitting still.
Which is interesting because that nigga had like 310, 312, one of the chapters, and he was like, all right, boy. He was like, all right, shit about to move fast from here. And I was like, all right, let's go do everything we need to do. Because the nigga was like, all right, we need to come on, he need to use your full power. And then, it's like, the chatter was like, why did you lend a hand out to me when the second was talking to Yoichi and shit? And it's just like, all right, you still ain't giving this nigga like access. You said like, let's get the move on, let's get the hustle. But I never thought it was no friendship power because like, I thought it was like kind of more literal because he does need his allies to keep him grounded in reality because he can't do this alone. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. I was like, anything can bolster him. It was like, his allies to keep him moving and keep him grounded and keep his head on the swivel because that nigga was going stupid during Dark Deku Black arc. Deku Black, villain hunt. Deku Black.
I actually think that he has the second quirk already. I just think he hasn't used it yet because of the way he used the third quirk. When he first used Fajin, the third user told him not to do it. Like he didn't have faith in him. He thought he wasn't going to be able to pull it off. And I don't think he had accepted him until after he used it. So I think he knows what it is or how to use it, but he just hasn't used it yet. And when he used Fajin, he said that was the first time he used it and he was going to have to just learn it at that moment. So maybe he's trained with it off screen or something and Hori's saving it for like a big surprise moment, but I think he has it.
Yeah, I just need him to show up. Shigaraki still got his quirks race, and it's like, oh, what are you going to pull on me now, Deku? Oh, you thought a gun, and that's the second user.
I do hope that it's some.
Good luck, Nafisa, on your test.
for whatever reason, because of him being so similar to Bakugo in design, I kind of want him to have a ignition type or impact type quirk, and not a too complicated one, something that is like pure power, because he's not like, he would be an earlier generation, which means the quirks would have been simpler back then, right?
Yeah, so maybe it's like the infinite pizza from Gravity Falls. It just has infinite bullets but one gun. It makes perfect sense. It all lines up.
Hey man, me and Thomas already called it. I'm just calling that shit spirit gun from now on. I'm just gonna start saying second square. I'm just gonna start saying spirit gun. Fuck it. Honestly, no more support shit. If you did not watch the Stars and Strife fight, you may need to go read that shit again, because we don't need no more support quirks. This nigga tanked a fucking giant laser beam from a fucking Sasano in the sky, like we was on Gurren Lagann time.
No, I do think that it should be a decent quirk, because let's be honest, the second, as far as we know, was kind of the leader of the resistance against.
Yeah, that allows him to have a decent.
So that should have meant that he's not fodder even before he got one for all.
Do you think
the fifth user had a decent quirk?
Do you think it'll be something like? Okay, this will be random, yeah. You guys can disagree or agree. What if it's like the quirk to take quirks? Like not the AFO where you take it and use it, like an avatar, like an avatar.
Destroy quirks, basically.
Yeah, basically. Just like, I know it's Ares, but I mean, something like, oh, you have this quirk, it's gone now. Something like that. But
I don't really know. I kind of really think that his design matters. And we have, because we now, with All For One, he just mentioned this ancestor of Takauchi who had a similar quirk. So I do think that we get into a point where ancestors and so on matters, and him looking similar to Bakugo, I do think matters. I don't think that is just random. And if he had like an Eurasia type quirk, which that would be just more permanent, I think his design would have been more akin to Aizawa. So I do, going off his design, I expecting some ignition, impact, elemental, fire type quirk.
If that's what we're going with, then it would likely be something similar to Bakugo's dad's quirk.
Yeah.
Which is essentially explosive acid, and he can generate it and use friction to like rub it together and then like smash together really hard to make it explode. So assuming that it's been stockpiled in One for All, it would basically just mean that he would have explosion at that point, because he'd probably be able to just kind of flick his fingers and create enough force to get it to explode. So
it's like we get the best of both worlds. So it's like we get the best of both worlds of the. It's like he's not the first user or the second user or whatever, but he gets a Bakugo-esque power. So we kind of get the scene from the second movie where they use the power, but instead of sharing One for All, they share explosion. Is that kind of an idea? And they get like a team up moment.
Yeah, the cool thing about that would also be that Deku has been watching Bakugo for so long that he could just use it. Like the other quirks, that would be difficult because he had to first come up with, how can I use this quirk? What's the tricky part about this quirk? But with a quirk that is like Bakugo-esque, he's been watching Bakugo for years, so he would know what to do with it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's
I think that's exactly what it is going to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty. I'm pretty sure it's like pretty straightforward quirk, because we don't need nothing complicated and maneuver-esque and combine this with that type. Be like straight up, bro. Like that whole support stuff was cool now, but now once again, this nigga is not playing anymore. Like Shigaraki literally was tanking that Stars and Stripes shit. Like, we gonna need something to. We need something to hit. Yeah, we need that, because we need something to just like straight up like, all right, all I gotta do is this. I can use it in other creative ways, but at its core, just like this, like I need to hit this nigga with something. Dead ass.
True. Yeah. I get that, because
but I think Bakugo's quirk is also quite straightforward, but it is still complicated in terms of how to use it correctly, how to move with it in the air, for example. And I do think that that's something that every quirk has. Like, of course, there are more straightforward quirks and more complicated quirk, but every quirk, and that's kind of something we've been talking about in this series for a long time now, that even if a quirk is pretty easy or simple on the surface, you still need to train a lot with it and find out the weaknesses and tricks with it and what you can actually do with it to be strong with this quirk.
That's why I said, like, at its core, at its base, it needs to be just like this, but it can be versatile. That's why I said that. I was like, all right, you can use it this way too, but at its core, we need something that's going to aim like and just hit this nigga. Like we don't need like five steps, just like 5 steps just to get to use this and counter.
Yeah, that's why I say that I think it would be convenient to have a quirk that is like Bakugo's, because that means that he can skip this whole training process more or less. I mean, of course, I get that, but he knows how to use that quirk. He knows how he can use that quirk in the distance, for example, or in the air.
One thing I was thinking of is based on the designs as well, right? You know how each of Deku, you know how Horikoshi loves superheroes. So I was looking at it like Black Whip is like Spider-Man's whips, Flight, Superman, Smoke Bombs, Batman. What if this second quirk, because it looks like, you know, gauntlets, like Iron Man? So maybe like some Iron Man, like, how do I explain it? Maybe using the energy reactor in order to push his strength even further. Maybe something like that is possible.
There is there's a great tweet that was posted, and I sent it. I think it was someone else, but I posted it to Viz officials, where it was analyzing the first panel, you know, where you get to see the outlines of each hero. And the last one that has yet to be covered is Ultraman. And I'm pretty sure in the Ultraman lore, he has energy beams. That's like his whole power.
Yeah, that would be cool. I do actually think that would be cool, because that would give... So far, Deku is like awesome in terms of close combat, but in terms of... range, you still only has Air Force, right?
Yeah.
Which is okay, but it's not really going to do anything against Shigaraki, I think.
All right, let's Danny, you made a good point. I don't know why people really thought Deku was going to get regeneration, because that was just going to counter.
That's too busted.
Yeah, that was good. Healing and regeneration was not going to fly, bro. I was like, yeah, that's not going to work at all. But let's get to the actual chapter and let's talk about something, because I don't know why we talk about Deku. This nigga is not here. Shigaraki's here. Mirko's here. Bakugo's here. Like, Headshot, Nejire, you know, Genus was talking too much shit. That nigga finna get capped.
I actually wanted to ask, we've been mentioning that when Deku comes, that Eraser would be gone. But how, I mean, Eraser is active now. How does he do this hand thing mess, which I don't know, which I guess is a quirk?
So one of the things that I've been considering is that maybe because he in general has been dealing with his body making such a fracas, he has just more general access to his body's shape. Like he can manipulate what his arm looks like, not as a quirk necessarily, but as a biological function, period.
That's weird.
Or so you could argue that when All for One meant that like you could beat quirk singularity, what he really meant was become so entwined with your quirk that you can't have it erased because it is who you are. Which would then basically allow even emitter quirks to function similar to mutant quirks. If you remember, he's never been able to erase heteromorphic type quirks.
Yeah. That's been kind of my theory. This is basically him being, this is his Nomu side, which essentially, we know that even if it's done by a quirk, a Nomu won't lose any of his physical shape or strength. Augmentations, even if they are quirk based, just because Aizawa looks at them. And maybe this hyper, I do think this weird tumor thing is type of its regeneration. I don't think that's kind of basically cells separate, parting and regenerating. I do think that's part of it. Maybe that means that his regeneration isn't cut off, which would be bad.
That'd be funny. I mean, at that point, because of this, at that point, it'd be like, I don't know, because the counter is like, well, to support that is like, well, singularity, if you don't know what exactly that entails, and if like you mix singularity with his generations and stuff like that, it's like, it's like, is his singularity beating out like Aizawa, like, or like are cells combating each other, like how you combat a virus and it's fighting off, but Shigaraki's cells are so strong that they can combat that, because like I said, this transcendent being singularity shit, you know, this is kind of dark territory. So if it wants to work like that, or we did and not, because we know how Eraserhead shit said it attacks the, what was it, quirk factor, right? So to speak.
Yeah.
So just like how you get the example of Ojiro's tail would go down, but his tail wouldn't completely disappear. So it'd be like, it all like the cells fighting that shit back. Marco Guerrero. If that's the case, Bunny is dead. Hey, listen, like I said, she not in the battlefield. Whether she die here or not, I don't really care. All right, I'm already ready for niggas to start tripping next week. I want the leaks drop. And throwing hissy fits if she not dead. She getting maimed at the very least. She's not walking away from that shit.
Who now? Mirko.
Yeah, because so basically people have been debating like either Miracle's dead or she's fucked up. And some people already got her as dead because of the attack she got hit with. I'm saying she dead before she leave the battlefield. At the very least, she get a maim from what she got hit with.
She's already maimed. It's kind of just losing more limbs at this point.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I said, yo, if she gets maimed and she's just like on the sidelines, like a limp noodle, that's a repeat of what happened to her before. She might as well just die.
Nah, if she on the sideline, she's still gonna have that arm. Because watch, if she's still alive, she's still gonna have that fucking arm. It's gonna do something, or she's gonna have one last thing. She's not the type to just sit there. Oh, what am I gonna do? Like she wasn't like a limp noodle until like way until they put her down. And even then she was like, yo, Endeavor, we gotta fucking go, nigga. Like she wasn't just sitting like, oh, how much dying hurt. She was like, fuck this shit, nigga. My arm gone. I'm gonna keep running. You stabbed me through my leg. I'm gonna keep going. You did this. I'm gonna keep going. Like she gonna still get her monies in. Like,
is that just me or is her right leg just gone?
Yeah, it looks like it to me too.
That was one of the things I pointed out is that there's that impact frame right there on the knee that really looks like that leg is
like,
just gone.
There's nothing after that anymore.
All right, the real question though is when is Tiny Donut Man gonna show up and ruin my day, or is he actually in the dirt? Where's Gran Torino? When's he gonna swoop in and be like, just fine?
Why are you talking about a corpse?
So what you would be telling me at this point is that Gran Torino wasn't killed at the war so that Deku could arrive in time to see him die and get murked a second time.
Which would be hilarious.
That's just adding insult to injury because all the people that's gonna die right now, and you just gonna throw that in there too. Like,
no, I need him to come in and pull what it seems like Mirko's pulling, which is haha, I'm back, baby, and then you just get one shot. That's what I need. I need it for Gran Torino. I hate that old man.
That's why I need her to die. It'd be so funny. Like,
nah, I think if she dies like ASAP, I'll be like,
no,
why did you come here?
Mirko's fine.
She's okay. She's winded
to do it.
Yeah, like,
Barney, you a goofy.
Nah.
She's okay.
Everybody gonna be like, oh, she died without showing her arm. What a wasted opportunity. I'm gonna just laugh.
Bro, I'm like, it's a robotic arm. Yeah, I swear to God, it was not gonna transform into some hyper beam mega cannon. Like and start shooting super bullets. Like
she's not Kid from One Piece. Japan
got that
to something big.
Surely, think about it. The only people we've seen canonically use like just lasers on hand has been America, and they're supposed to be the most advanced weapon-wise. Mm-hmm. So the odds of her arm having like a laser beam or anything like that, and it was low as hell.
This is a big ass gauntlet, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
That's all it is. It's just like, bro, she missing her arm. Why not put a fucking big metal arm there so she can punch people?
Yeah,
need be, or just have a hand there. It's like she was gonna be in she could still be in combat. Aizawa, you don't need to give Aizawa a special ed because he couldn't even fucking use Erasure. He's useless. So it's like
she and Gran Torino can do that scene from FMA where they punch through the old guy to kill someone else. Only this time Gran Torino has a hole in it, so it doesn't actually kill him. God. It's genius. They'll be like, you killed your own teammates. Like, ha ha ha, you can't kill me. I'm already dead. And then he's a donut. And then she punched right through the donut hole. And there you go. That's what needs to happen. Basically, what I'm saying is, I really am very upset at Gran Torino, and I just need him to get over here so I can watch him get curb stomped. So
that's all that would happen is that if he shows up again, he's getting murdered. And then it would just be like,
he's not coming here.
Let's go. He'll bring Eri too.
You know what? Since we on this topic of fucked up people, so me and Thomas had said something in the church, right? It was just like, because Volk had said something about, yo, Nagat gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what's up with Nacha, bro?
Hey, what up, Natch?
But so me and Tom, so Volk has tweeted something like, oh, yo, Nagat gonna come back. You know, she got to come back and help Deku this and other. And me and Tom's like, okay. Oh, you know, her and Gentle will be gas, right? Mm-hmm. But I say kind of some people like I guess kind of misinterpreted what we were saying. And like, all right, bro, Nagat gonna come back, shoot a bullet or two. Me and Tom were talking about she finna come back all the way in the field, start floating around like she was doing when she did Deku. Like, no, she could just come in clutch at the last second, like, yo, shoot a bullet and still be main, but not make that much of a difference. Like, yo, just give like one clutch thing, just like Gentle would do. It wasn't
I think quirk-erasing bullets are coming back, and she's going to use the one that they make or whatever to take out some bad guy. Yeah, because quirk-erasing bullets haven't ever came back, and so I feel like that's the perfect. Like they literally set up girl who shoots gun and make bullets with overhaul who make bad bullets who get rid of your quirk. I feel like it's got to come back.
So
they should have just left her as a bad guy.
Simple shot. I wasn't no crazy like, oh my god, she finna come back. She finna own everybody on the field. She finna act like she never got blown to bits. Like, nah, bro. It's just like, all right, it's a cool little thing. I wasn't betting money on her coming back like I am Gentle. That's two different things. Nigga.
It's just like in Heroes Rising when Momo.
Wait, guys, you do understand Ian is trolling, right, chat? Ian would cry for like a whole week if anything bad actually happened to Aries.
Nah, Ian actually said Ian actually said he gonna throw hands for her coach like if something happened to Aries.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember we was talking. It was like, hey man, it was like, yo, all for one, Shigaraki, y'all stay the fuck away from it for, especially all for one. You stay the fuck away from Aries. He about to jump in the page, beat off.
I would backtrack so hard on like everything I've said about the show. I'd be like, wow, what a cruel, evil world we live in. What a terrible mangaka. What an awful piece of media.
Even if it be his Bruce Wayne Batman gimmick. I am vengeance. There's darkness in this world. Some people should never know light because I am the shadow that cast above them all. And to start beating the shit out, I feel like, all right, bro, it's too far, man. Chill out.
Hey, but yeah, I need a gun. Like she'll come back, but it's like he said, she's not like super better. So they just like open her hospital window and she just like shoots out the window. That's what they should do.
They bring the hospital to UA.
Monoma goes over and picks her up.
Hey, Nagat, we need you for a second.
Can you open your window for a sec? We'll make a portal so you can shoot through it.
It could bend through a Kirigiri portal or something.
The real question is, hey Sayas, where's all your cool MHA reviews? I miss them.
Yeah,
school.
Life.
Life.
School.
Darn it.
School be beating y'all ass. School be beating y'all ass, but that shit's so crazy to me.
Just don't go to school. Easy.
That shit's so crazy.
Yeah, come on. MHA's still out. You can't go to school.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I got kicked out of college. Boy, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Were you preaching the word?
The system is
too much?
quite like, it's quite subjective in my opinion.
They were sick of East constantly talking about Horikoshi, so they kicked them out.
I was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, fuck y'all niggas. Y'all probably over to read. Y'all probably read beat over. No, it's fine.
Everyone got confused because they thought he was talking about like some really dope professor after school, and so everyone got really excited.
I just come in. They just come in the room, try to meet Horikoshi. It's just a poster on my wall. So look, guys. hey, these are the guys I was telling you about, man. They were so excited. What the fuck wrong with this nigga?
Wait, is he talking to a poster?
Listen, let's get into the real convo. Where my boys? Tarnish, where you at? And Thomas. So let's get into the real conversation, man. Shout out. Like I said, I'll give credit where credit is due. I've been talking mad shit for weeks, but man, I'm gonna give a round of applause to the fucking heroes, boy. Hey, man. Shout out to them boys.
They're competent again.
Hey, man. No, I don't like how this just explains everything to Shigaraki. It's just ruining it all over again. Don't explain your plan.
Hey man, listen, this shit about to go completely sideways, but I gotta give them credit.
Already.
I gotta give them credit. They really had a fucking, not even just solid, a phenomenal plan. Because if Deku was there, this could have really went bad for Shigaraki in a logical way. So they really had a solid, great plan. But Toga fucked all that shit up.
So. With the fact that, sorry, I was very impressed by the fact that Horikoshi is using so many side characters against Shigaraki. Like when
That's what I also thought about. Like
bro, it was crazy.
Putting all their resources into Shigaraki alone. There's not even any Nomus or Liberation War, Liberation Front characters
and
in
it's
here.
great
It's just
too, 'cause they're, like-
Shigaraki, and they have essentially half of their top
Yeah.
10 in here, at least.
Yeah.
Most of their teachers, apparently, and quite a few of the students. So this is just putting all their resources into this one guy, which makes me worry about the other fights. I mean, I've been saying it last week that I kind of feel like Endeavor is going to fight All for One alone, and now it looks like it even more so because there isn't that much more people left. And I mean, with Hawks, but Hawks can't even break the armor. And it also looks like there's not that much going on with Darby. Like Ryukyu has to be somewhere, Wash, and Kamui is with Endeavor. But other than that, I don't think we have any top 10 heroes missing, right? So
no, everybody should be. We just don't know where Ryukyu's at.
Yeah, Ryukyu and Wash. But Wash is assuming with Gang Orca, I assume.
We can assume, but we can't.
I assume
for sure. I would be that would be a good bet. That would be great for them. But if not, oof, I wonder who they got on their side.
And this is not a joke, but legitimately, where is Mirio? I really need to know.
We've been wondering that for days.
Bro, it's not a joke. Where is he?
I don't know. He has to be somewhere.
I can't wait till he come back. Niggas really been asking for this nigga like
does
crazy.
He exist bro, does he exist in this manga anymore?
I don't know. The thing is, Mirio has to be like the top 3 fighter, right? He was supposed to be a plus number 1, which means he's supposedly after Deku and Endeavor, the 3rd strongest at the moment. So he has to be somewhere.
I really need it to be like they come to him at the very end. They're like, Mirio, where were you during all these fights? They're like, nobody told me. I was I was getting groceries.
No, you know where Mirio is right now? He's actually at UA, but he's cleaning the bathrooms of UA. All these like explosions happen in the background. He has his earphones on, like Stan Lee in Amazing Spider-Man.
Man, I really hope that Mirio is just that they hold him in secret at UA. I hope he's at UA because I think that Mirio should be immune to.
He should be.
Yes.
So should be there. That's what
I need my Mirio is a fly that annoys Shigaraki scene that I've been waiting the whole series for.
If that was Mirio instead of Mirko at the end, that wouldn't be happening.
Right, nothing would have happened.
Actually, Sayas, you make a very valid point. Why Mirio's immune to Shigaraki's decay, and both his like partners, more or less, or not partners, I guess,
the big
people who he fought with.
Not the big 3, it's the big 2.
So I kind of hope that he's just phasing through these segments of this floating thing, and they haven't shown him yet because he's like the ace in the.
I hope so.
But
God.
The thing is, why I'm kind of iffy about it is because I think that the moment Deku wasn't there, he should have played more of a role, because that was when him being the strongest there should have made a difference.
Essentially, yeah.
I hope so. I hope he gets like a whole chapter dedicated to doing stuff, because that spread in the war being it, that cannot just be all he gets for coming back.
The end of Mirio.
Hey, 2 things real quick. One thing real quick. Cameron Bailey, I don't know what you're talking about. Shafted in their own arc. Mirio and I did not get shafted.
Mirio and I were amazing in their own arc.
I don't know what that's about. Okay, but I want to keep back. It's okay. Listen.
Wait.
You just saw the Mirio slam, but it was like they were wondering what the fuck they were clowning this thing, bro. They was getting on his head. It's okay. I'm writing everybody's name down right now, and me, Giorno, and Aniki. We gonna when he come back, we gonna run it back. Like God damn.
Put me number 1 on that list.
Cause I'm like, yo.
Did I see somebody say Ares a plot device?
We ain't gonna address that.
That happens a lot when people say that.
You wanna know something crazy though?
Just like Shigaraki's a plot device.
You wanna know something crazy?
Just like any character is a plot device.
Every character and every element is a plot device.
Now, if you want to say they're just a plot device, then I mean you're wrong, and have a nice day. But otherwise, yes, you're correct.
Everything. Deku's a fucking plot device. One for all is a plot device. Shoto's a plot device. Like
I'm a plot device.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. A plot device.
You know what else is a plot device? My
mom. Good night, everybody.
Hey, so we're gonna have to continue to gassing up the heroes. I'm really proud of these boys for putting in that work for real, bro. Like for real. I mean,
damn impressive.
It's mad impressive.
This is one of their better plans, though.
Like this is really this is really.
He hasn't lost his mind yet.
Ooh, I love this
Can I ask a question?
This is a great video.
Who would have thought that all the way back in season 2 that Yao Yorozu would be fighting Shigaraki? This girl that got a whole existential crisis on one day she can actually do a
She's
plot.
growing.
She grew.
Yep.
No, I like that, but I'm so confused that she introduces herself as Momo Yao. Wasn't she Yao Momo?
Yeah, just Momo Yao.
Gotta be a translation thing.
It is a translation thing.
Wow, Caleb.
Wait.
Wow.
Did we talk about Lunch
Caleb
Rush?
sick.
Can we talk
Caleb
about
fell
Lunch
off.
Rush in the back of that panel?
Yeah, yo, shout out to Rush Rush.
He cooking up eats for Momo to eat to create
I'm telling
more.
you, he's literally pulling a Charmy with the black balls. He's beating her up.
Yeah, and you notice he's just making rice. They're like, you don't need nothing else.
Yep.
Eat these carbs, girl. Come on,
They bring it every
carbs.
Easy to eat. Easy to eat. Go on.
She's just stuffing her
Bro,
face.
honestly,
Christmas
bro,
turkey.
after this battle with her doing this right here, I ain't gonna lie to you. She may be able to give Luffy and Goku a run for their money on eating food.
True.
Hey, bro. Wait, she packing that food down, bro. You might get these niggas a run for their
Food
money.
eating
man.
power scale.
She undoubtedly has the best role in this fight. She just doesn't get to face Shigaraki. She just gets to eat all the time.
Yeah,
it's
heck
all-
yeah.
Actually,
The real threat is
speaking of
Fu
that-
from Samurai Champloo. Can she take her on?
Oh, you know what? Hey, hold up now.
Maybe.
Hold on.
That girl had the power of poverty fueling her stomach.
So what? That's fucked up. It's true, but it's fucked up. Oh man. Let's show my top 10. We're the top 5 anime of all time.
Also, as a question, is that Yu? Like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Kaminari?
Yeah,
I
that
was
is
gonna bring
definitely
that up.
Yu.
Yeah, if y'all don't
that's
remember
so cool.
if y'all remember who Yu is, it's Nejire's best friend.
Which is
Yeah.
wild because I thought she wasn't in Hero Course, but
Maybe they just pulled her in.
yeah, it really don't matter at this point. Can you make lightning? Oh, what's that? A little static between your fingers. Go over there. Just hold your fingers real close.
I really like that all the third years are like, Kaminari, literally shut up.
He said,
Hey. We got a super chat. Go ahead, read it, Aniki.
Giorno.
Oh, Giorno Giovanna coming through. Mirio the GOAT, and he coming back. He been getting slandered too much. Yes, 100%. This is all true. Thank you, Giorno Giovanna.
Listen.
You are spitting.
Listen, Aniki. Giorno coming on stream when Mirio get back. And me and him finna run a triple tag team on everybody real quick for all that slander for months on months. That was really been a damn year y'all been slandering this nigga ever since.
What's crazy is that Mirio as a character did nothing wrong. This is purely in reaction.
Yeah, but
couple
Aniki,
of other
Deku
people
as a character did nothing
being
wrong,
assholes.
and he gets slanders.
Like,
Or
bro.
maybe in terms, My Hero Academia written by Horikoshi, both them did nothing wrong, but they both get
That's
slandered.
true.
Let's talk about the characters who actually never did anything. Where are the second years?
oh my god.
Well, they're turning.
There's
Man,
only
those
one
guys
second
got
year
the
that
That's a
we
very
care
valid
about.
point.
That's only 1 second year that was even introduced that matters.
So that was the flower,
The light?
the poofy
Yeah, the
cloud
little-
earring girl.
They call her name's Cotton Candy.
Why did
Wait,
Horikoshi
what's her
introduce
name?
them if they're not being used? That's the question.
No,
I mean,
I was so when they first introduced after the or before the Aizawa flashback. I'm not quite sure which, but or after
Kawada
Aizawa talked
Fuwa.
to Kurogiri. I was so convinced that now we're going to get into the second years, but no.
Same.
Oh, they're
Same. I
turnips,
really thought they
technically.
were gonna like interact with like Deku's lot and show that they're way more competent than Deku's. Yeah, I thought they'll be like mad cocky because they fought like Shiggy and everyone. No, wait, when was this again? This was before. Was this before the war? Right?
It was before the war.
I think it was either
Yeah.
before or after
So-
Aizawa
No, that was
first
before.
met Kurogiri, right?
It was
Or,
literally during that time.
Yeah, it was during the
right there.
chapter with
Yeah.
Kurogiri.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe they'll be like,
I don't know them, so I really don't care that much.
Yeah, it don't really matter to me. It's like they're
Fair
not that
enough.
important.
Wait,
If I were
something I
Horikoshi right now-
do want to ask though, how many chapters before Genus eats his words?
I give it 3 before he really give it. 2.5.
So why would you tell him all the story? I'm so mad at him. Shut up.
Bro, he was talking too damn much not to have Deku
Yeah.
here. I'm like, all right, bro, your ace in the hole was here.
He's like,
That's
by the
different.
way, the
Y'all
guys
gotta-
who give you the electroshocks are over there if you want to take them out and leave.
And Bakugo,
The guy who's looking at you's over there.
Bakugo too. He's like, yo, you forgot about Jaku? I ain't worried about Jaku.
Right, we also need Gentleback.
Also,
they should have lied to him and just said, haha, you didn't know we have a quirk that sent you to an alternate dimension. You're trapped here forever with us. That's what I would have done, just lie.
One of the craziest things about this chapter is that the pro heroes are way less level-headed than Bakugo here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's weird.
Yeah, honestly,
don't tell him everything.
I'm not trying to undermine Genus, but he wasn't there when Shigaraki woke up. He wasn't there. He came after everything happened.
Because he's in a bag.
Yeah, Genus was.
All he did was detain a sleepy Makia. That's all he did.
Like,
So you're saying this whole time he's been like, man, the heroes really suck. Like, I don't know how you all lost. I guess I need to.
He low key kind of sounded like it. He sounded like he's like, yeah. If I would have been on the battlefield from the rip, this wouldn't even happen. It's like,
what's so funny? Hold up.
He wasn't there, bro. He really wasn't there like that.
Hold up. He talking like he got a belt, but he don't. But you know who do got a belt? The world champ walking.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this chapter we got here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. God, we are in the war. My girl Mirko. Oh my God, please.
Rip Bozo.
Please, Horikoshi.
From a nugget.
No. Just give her some more prosthetics. She'll be fine.
Yeah, just make it do.
Walker trying to put the broken leg back on his toy, his extra. It'll work.
Yeah, just got to glue it back together. Maybe use some duct tape. God.
Like the villains become more and more normal, and Mirko just becomes more and more robot.
Yeah.
Final. Listen, this extends into like a part 2. Really, like all jokes aside, extends to a part 2. Miracle's just like final battle. She's like full robot. She just has her human ears and human brain. Everything else robot and cyberpunk.
She's cyborg.
She's got Mineta in her, kind of piloting her like a mech.
Oh my God! Yeah.
No, that was.
Oh God, no!
That hurt.
No.
She's like one of those heads, and she's like the president heads in Futurama. It just says Mirko, he's number 3 hero. She just talks. Anyway.
Shigaraki hits her again, but this time Mineta busts out the middle. He was like, "You won't touch my wife!"
Man. Mirko really became a mech.
Shigaraki, I would pay some serious money for that. That would be hilarious. Imagine Great Rush stops decay or something.
Bro, this man Genus said his brain short circuiting from that shock. If you all shut your ass up.
Wait, where is Mineta?
Fam,
we don't know. Yeah,
good question.
Look,
actually,
hold on. We need to go back to Charters. You right about that. Genus talked too much shit. Like, all right, bro, you don't laid out the plan and you disrespected me. You disrespected me too, bro. Now I'm gonna have to body ass.
Did your brain short circuit, bro? Why are you talking like you're not missing a whole lung?
Bro, I'll be like, bro, if he said that, if I was Shigaraki and that nigga said that shit to me after he slammed my head into the ground, I'm gonna point at that nigga. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck you up first. You talking about shit out here. I'm gonna fuck your ass up first, nigga.
You know what's crazy about him slamming Shigaraki down? Like, I didn't peep this in the scans, but this nigga broke the cords right after easily. Like,
yep. He slapped it.
Because it's not doing shit to him. It just like, it caught him off guard for a split second. He didn't even need a quirk to bust through the cords. He just like, pop.
And it was bouncing between them, and the fucking squeeze bubbles could not keep up with him again.
That shit crazy, bro.
Oh, sorry.
I think this was, for me, this chapter has the best Shigaraki design so far. Some of these panels are just awesome.
The hair and the cape, that's the drip.
But the thing, I think my favorite is the one where like his hair, his eyes, and his mouth and his teeth are just whited out. And basically just see the face based on the dry lines around his face and lips.
Of course, we have too much fun with that nigga, bro.
Yes.
I really wish Shigaraki, like when Best Genus was just talking all that crap, just like he just stopped for a second. He's like, "Dude, I haven't had a haircut in months. I've been possessed. Like you being like this is really annoying me."
That's what I want to talk about, because the thing is, in the very first panel, I kind of already forgot about it. Of course, I saw it before, but this time it became more obvious that both Mirko and Nature have the haircut now, which is As somebody with experience, just a better haircut for fighting or anything, for doing anything, just a better haircut, making your hair short. But Shigaraki's hair just getting longer and longer and longer and longer, and him not giving shit. It's just, in a way, a power move, because all the heroes have to cut their hair because it's getting in the way, but he's just letting it grow out.
He's not afraid of the no capes rule, because he'll just destroy the plane that sucks him in.
No capes.
So he's good.
All right, Daibi, you've been trying to talk for a minute. Go ahead. You got
yeah. There's this one person. I don't know if we talked about it before I joined. I think there's this one person we really need to address. Hatsume Mei. Come on. She is a G.
Girl.
Yeah.
Look at how she came up with this whole plan to put them in the sky. I'm sorry. She is so elite right now. I can't even, like,
Her back
I
must
just
be
have
perfect.
to say,
Thank God we
her.
met.
I'm sorry.
Thank God we met her in the sports festival.
He literally wrote Sky High. It's great.
I just didn't realize that they've been working together, her and Momo, I guess, to make this happen. I don't think they just started working together now, but they just introduced themselves now, because that's so weird. Like, by the way, what's your name?
But like even like the whole Final Destination type area, like no, but seriously, I was even wondering for a second, how the hell do you get UA in the sky? So not just the electricals, Shigaraki, the electricals to power the whole whatever they're using to make it fly. Come on, I mean, man, Hatsume, man, she deserves all the flowers. I mean,
all she needs is a drill.
Yeah,
I thought this was going to the sky, but this is a different story right here.
It's so perfect because Horikoshi opened up at the battlefield that we had the most questions about.
Can we talk about how Mei Hatsume and Momo is one of the most deadly combos that we could have seen since season 2, since Sports Festival, but it's never been discussed up until this juncture?
This is a legendary link up.
Because Momo is like her toolbox.
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's funny about that? In either my review last week or the week before that, I actually referred to Momo as a toolbox and still did not.
Really?
Yes. I used the phrase like she's a toolbox because she can just kind of create whatever she's supposed to. Kind of like how I was like, because I was talking about how Monoma could wear a suit made out of everybody else's hair and like use that as like a toolbox. And so, yeah.
In hindsight, you really gotta say this year of first years was just very convenient in terms of quirk. Nobody cares about the second years. There are only 3 relevant third years, but the quirks of the first years are great.
The second years have all just been on
Momo
an
was
exchange
supposed
program.
to be an adult hero originally, and then Hori was like, "Wait, how do I write
she
plots
broken? Yeah,
with her like as a competent veteran? Like that doesn't work."
Well,
it's kind of like that take about.
Continue. No, you got it.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like that take where people are like, "Oh, Momo can just create an actual bomb," but if she was old enough and more experienced, she could actually do that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what's cool about Mei is just simply that, like, it's one of those things where it's like we've come a long way from like, oh no, our door that had 3 layers on it got disintegrated by Shigaraki. What do we do? And now we're in like a flying school. But I think it works just simply because Mei has been our one character for this stuff, and they've made her such a meme character, not like a bad way, but in like she shows up and she goes, "Whoa, look at this crazy stuff I can build." And so when you take it to its most logical extreme and you tie it to the school and you add in like the characters kind of powering the school, which is what they've been protecting and living in, like it all just like it like basically allows your suspension of disbelief to allow it to happen, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
agree.
So,
like,
I really like that take, because she is a meme character, and for any other first year, if they came up with that kind of thing, even with build-up surrounding it, I wouldn't believe it. But Hatsume is just like, she's such a meme that you're just, whatever.
So you're like,
she's just
also wait. I have to argue for Mei that it goes beyond the meme, because this is also, in effect, an extension of the hover soul technology that we had already been introduced to. When we are first introduced to her, we get at least 2 different levitations. We get the jetpacks plus the hover souls on the shoes. So that's at least 2 different propulsion devices that she's introduced with in the, like, as soon as we meet her. And then if you think about it and you look at the design, this basically takes some of the propulsion components from the jetpack and then infuses the hover soul mechanics into them too.
Yeah,
exactly.
When I say meme, I don't mean that disrespectfully to her.
Yeah.
Or like,
absolutely.
Right. I just mean like she's so exaggerated and so like whoa, it's Mei. So like whenever she does this, you're like, oh, May, you scallywag, but also, this is really good.
It's just crazy. It's because it's like, all right, if Deku's starting off at 5% at the beginning of this year, right? School year, right? And he's come as far as he can. Shoto only using one side, can't balance both. Now he can get a balance of both. Bakugo having shit he can do. Momo doing the shit he can do. Kaminari boosting his shit. Everybody coming as far as they did, like Tokiyama being the GOAT that he is, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, well,
even Shinso.
Yeah, even Shinso.
Yeah,
so it's like,
Shinso.
It's like, and the craziest part about this is the way this works is different because it's like getting new ideas and you being a genius is different than you working on your quirk.
Yeah,
exactly. Is just like all you have to do is give me fucking like Deku get to 50%, but it's gonna take him a certain amount of time to get to that thing. But May is like, I got the idea. I just need the components. This don't work. All right, retry again. So while Deku could take a month to get to do something, all she need is the equipment, and she don't fucking sleep. So all she had to do is keep retrying till she gets that shit, and then she's in there and she's locked in. So it takes.
That's why I like about Hatsume is the fact that like every time we meet her, she's becoming more and more like impressive and more in tune with like creating stuff, because we see her with her just regular tech, and then we see her later on their professional license, and then later on like she's becoming more and more adept at making stuff, if that makes sense. So when we get to this stage, it's like, okay, I can believe this because she had the practice.
I want to point out that because this is what I was talking about during the live reaction portion too, where we are introduced to May and like May, of like their school year. And it's like, okay, she's already able to make a functioning jetpack. She was making like the grappling hooks, the stabilizers, which you could argue also contribute to this design for the flying school. So that's at least 3 different pieces of tech we can argue that were incorporated from her introduction alone into the story. But like you look at provisional license, where already she had made a couple hundred, like 100 plus like gadgets, and at that point in the story, her turnaround time was already like 2 to 3 days tops, and that was August, while doing stuff for Kaminari as well, and having meetings with effectively all the students in the hero course. Because we know that when we get that flashback during provisional license of Kaminari shows that he had a meeting with her and Power Loader. So it's not like she only talked to Deku and Ida and Ochako. They talked to the entire class. So it's like within 3 days, the entire class had new support gear. So we'd already been established that like by August that she could be this fast. So now we're in another May. It's basically been a full year since we've met her. So it's kind of like, if she couldn't do that with the way everybody's progressed in their specialties that they've actually dedicated themselves to, it'd actually be a little stranger.
That is scary though, because she's going to be on the level of Tony Stark by the time she's like,
she's supposed to be like the next David Shields.
So I'm gonna. There's too many questions about this, too many people in specifically, and I want to keep talking about this. So after this, I'm about to bring up somebody said in chat. After this, we're gonna talk about the Shigaraki hand thing because people keep bringing it up, and I don't like to ignore it. I don't like to ignore the chat. But first, I want to keep talking about this Momo shit. Somebody said, I'm gonna point out. Robert Gonzalez said, "Who wants to bet Momo has T amounts blueprints enhanced by Hatsume?" Listen. Honestly, if it was me, I don't give a fuck about the morality shit. Fuck all that heroes don't kill shit. They war, nigga. This ain't no swooping a burger off the street anymore. This is either we take this nigga out or it's done. I be telling them niggas down like, listen, we gotta build a nuke and we gotta explode this nigga right now. I'm gonna build a ship so we getting out of here. Like one ship, everybody hop on the ship and we fly and keep this nigga trapped in there.
I was about to say,
we about to dip.
Do you think that maybe UA has like a self-exploding thing so that every hero evacuates just in case Shiggy can't be taken down by Deku or something?
That may be on the back burner. I wouldn't put it past him.
Best Genus has to stay behind because like you have to make sure he stays in place. Because Shigaraki can just outspeed everyone.
That would make me feel a lot better about all that shit he's talking.
Maybe that's why he's talking crap.
Actually, that would probably be Bakugo's final moment that would make everybody love him because
Final explosion.
Bakugo is going, because Bakugo not finna get murked like Genus.
People don't realize that
Genus is talking too much shit.
Bakugo's in for the fight of his life right now.
Yeah, Genus is about to die. That's a different story. That nigga talked too much shit. He already dug his grave and raised his flag.
That's to give Bakugo the motivation to go hard. Like Genus gonna die in front of him, and then Bakugo is gonna be a wild fight.
Actually, I think that'll be the perfect way for Deku to come in because, in my opinion, I still don't think with whatever Deku has right now, he's not beating Shigaraki 1-on-1. I feel like the group is meant to bring Shigaraki a bit down or weaken him a bit so that Deku and Shigi can now fight, and then somehow he maybe not beat Shigaraki, but at least is able to, I guess, take him down, if that makes sense. So I feel like if he had some type of like a Tiamat, for example, in the whole of UA, Best Genius grabs him down, explodes the whole place, and Shigaraki just regenerates, but it's getting way too slow. Kind of like in the war when he started getting weaker and weaker, something like that, and then him and Deku go 1-on-1. That would make the most logical sense, in my opinion. That's what I think.
Actually, hold on. Shout outs. I'm about to give a round of applause to Dai here, okay? Because, like I've been saying for literal fucking years, and I've been asking y'all niggas, give me a logical way to beat Shigaraki and the villains right now, and all niggas ever just say to me, it's a shonen. Oh, he has to win. Horikoshi said it's in the final act, this, that, and the other. Niggas only give me bullshit excuses. You've actually given me, for the first time I can remember, a logical reasoning on how the heroes could act, Deku could actually beat Shigaraki. So thank you for that, because I've been asking niggas, and they give me the same bullshit, throwaway bullshit lines. When I ask for logic, niggas don't give me it. You gave me an actual response. Thank you.
Round of applause for Divey.
There's something I got for you that I was thinking about saving this, but we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Has anybody thought about what the downside to stealing Bakugo's quirk would be?
Great like sweat, maybe. I mean,
I guess it wouldn't fit with what Horikoshi said about Bakugo.
No,
I guess.
I think Bakugo
combat-wise,
Deku gonna have to fight Bakugo.
No,
but he wouldn't sweat.
Baku, true or false? Shigaraki, like when you work out, you sweat, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that Shigaraki strains and actually deals with the stress of battle, right? So he would be sweating, right?
Yeah.
All of Bakugo's sweat is explosive.
Essentially, yeah.
He'll be exploding a lot.
Oh, it would actually backfire in the long run because
it's like in the first movie, right?
Like, yep, just like in the first movie. Because the whole point of those little nodules all up Bakugo's arms is those are also pulling his sweat. And it's not like you see him like taking his palm and rubbing it on the grenade. Like, yeah, let me get all the sweat in here. That's not what happens. It's like they're pulling sweat from different areas on his body. He's got a suit that like pulls the sweat into his gauntlets and stores it. So in turn, that means all the sweat generated by Bakugo is explosive, which means if you steal his quirk and you guys,
you're suddenly very
sweat,
flammable.
So like if Shoto pulled up to the battle after he stole Bakugo's quirk, he would infinitely be able to explode him. Because he would explode, regenerate, his body would be sweating from the strain, get lit on fire, explode, regenerate, and just keep doing that until there's nothing left.
Man, that is true, actually. That's a really good point. I never thought about that. Very fair.
And because that would be a scenario in which you could see Bakugo purposely or like willingly surrendering his quirk to Shigaraki. So like to me, if we ever see like Bakugo get his quirk stolen, then for some reason he smiles, just assume we're gonna get him getting exploded just because he's sweating at some point.
So what we're gonna get, what you're telling me, is a Lust and Envy versus Mustang type situation, but with Shoto and a stolen quirk.
Sure. I'm not sure how much I like this theory because Bakugo hasn't been instantly exploding just because he. As a child, and he didn't have any of these.
No. It'd specifically be because he'd be either getting hit really hard, which the kinetic energy would be causing that, or actual fire. People aren't running around setting Bakugo on fire.
No, sure, of course. But I mean, I assume that even him, he was just putting fire close to himself. And like, sure, I think it makes sense. But I also don't.
It's one of those things that
we've seen enough from Bakugo to confirm that it actually it should work like that.
Right. And I think it's convenient and worth noting that the only time he fought another fire user was when that fire user wasn't willing to use his fire.
Yeah. That is true, actually. Shoto could have actually bodied Bakugo.
So it's like, has Horikoshi had this in the back of his mind or not? We don't know. But it is just something that I wanted to kind of point out.
That's why Bakugo was so mad. He's like,
it is a viable thing that could like sit around. Like if he did that, it could backfire where somebody actually attacked him.
That would be real. I mean, that is something that would be really funny if Bakugo was like, yeah, why do you think I was so mad that Todoroki didn't fight back? Like he could insta-kill me and he didn't even do it. That
He didn't try.
Bakugo's lucky that Deku didn't develop his father's quirk.
Boy.
All he had to, like, you're making fun of me, Bakugo? You're insulting me? Fire Dragon Roar.
And then fire.
Speaking of Deku's father, actually, let me not even talk about Deku's father right now, because that's a whole other conversation.
He's here right, he's here right now. Endeavor's fighting him, so we're good.
Dad for one.
Yeah, dad for one. It's going to happen.
What happens because of Horikoshi and Star Wars, but I don't think it will, in my opinion.
I think it'd be really funny if he did it, but it doesn't matter. I don't think like he's talking to Endeavor and he's like, I'm Deku's father, and he's like, that doesn't matter to me. It's like, oh, and then it just never goes anywhere.
Fuck.
But it would be like the greatest irony if last chapter All for One was to Endeavor, like, you've been like abandoning your child, you're still ignoring your youngest, and then next chapter it turns out he's been like, Deku didn't even know he was his father.
It's like, so what happened when you saw your son? So anyway, I started blasting. Like, wait, what?
And there was like, oh, wait, didn't you just criticize me for, abusing my children?
Like,
the little apartment he lives in.
He was like, poor, worthless, useless, big ass failure. Used to get bullied all the time. No lining ass. Ain't never had a kiss from a girl. Head ass. Izuku Midoriya. You suck.
Can't tie your tie.
Hey, hey, that's my son, by the way. Like that would be awful.
That would make me like.
That's why AFO was able to roast Endeavor so hard, because he knows. Like
AFO has been so belligerent towards Midoriya that it would be like in complete contradiction to like what we've gotten out of him as far as like his behavior towards his brother. That it would be so odd for him to switch up on family like that.
It also would be like, he would have brought this up because he brought Tenko's heritage up before.
Right. For sure. That's why I've always denied it.
To All Might, by the way, the guy you chose as your
is my kid.
Your heir is my kid.
Yeah, now
knowing him, he definitely would have said that before. He would have been dropped that bomb. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That guy's like as hell, man. You would have enjoyed doing that too.
People are like, oh, he's gonna bring up, Dad for One because of Star Wars, but we've had the Star Wars moment. We had the Shigaraki Tomura is Nana's grandson. That's the equivalent. It's right there.
Yeah, like he'd be like, first off, your crew ain't your crew, and he's like, what you mean? Your master's grandson, mine. Okay, your crew ain't your crew. What you mean? Your apprentice, mine. Huh? My son. Huh? Thanks for raising my son. I got free child support out here.
Tell Inko I said, hey. Boom.
So really, off one just pulled up. First off, fuck the bitch in the clique you came with. So that's how you roll up in the fight. Okay. So we should talk about the most important thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a nice time. It's been a wild ride, but it's time to say goodbye to Genus. All right, the cat with 9 lives.
That's flex everywhere.
I said that lyric so wrong, but
Genus is dead off technicality.
The fact
he the top one. Surely. He's the top hero over here.
Bro,
that's technicality.
Talk himself to death.
Bro, he not walking out the battlefield alive. He did. If anybody
he's a cockroach.
If anybody go, bro,
what is it?
I don't know, East, because like I don't think this is just me, but I don't think I'll feel, at all satisfied that Genus died, because we're constantly getting death flags for him, or at least he's constantly somewhat dying. So if he dies, I'm gonna be there like, okay, is he gonna come back?
I agree with you.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Let me address this, Thomas. Mm-hmm. Once again, you thinking like a reader. You have to think like a writer. Do you know why Kohei's advanced? You only looking at it from the Genus perspective. like I said before, a character's death can elevate another character.
Oh no, I know
who you care about more. So even if you don't feel the same way about Genus, it's like, but Bakugo is the one that goes 10 times harder in the paint after Genus is dead. Plus, that nigga got died because he talked too much damn shit. And
I agree.
Shit need to catch some real deal hero bodies. No more bullshit.
No, I agree. It's just as someone who's like, oh, he died. Is it going to be another chapter until he comes back? Time. But if it's used to elevate Bakugo, I agree.
No.
Every single student, or like every pro hero that we saw can, and in my opinion, should die.
Yeah.
Every pro hero
that we saw in this particular chapter,
including Endeavor.
In this location
including Endeavor, especially
including Endeavor.
Every pro hero in this fight with Shigaraki should.
I mean specifically the three that we see here. Edshot, because if I'm honest, he hasn't contributed a whole lot to like a lot of his characters, so he's very expendable.
I like him.
Like he's cool, but he's expendable ultimately. Get rid of him, let him die. Sure.
But he hasn't been used that much.
Mirko, same. You're doing some cool stuff. Good way to go out.
Bye.
In addition to that, though, like Bakugo needs like his trial of leadership, but also Genus, like we talked about, too much talking shit, too aggressive, way too cocky. So like him going out makes me kind of believe that he's all supposed to be like the leader of this particular platoon.
He is.
Yeah, because he's the
you don't mean the
hero.
teachers, you just mean those top three.
Yeah, like these 3, 4, and 5 here. They gotta.
So do you think this fight could? You want to know what I really think about Genus and why like I really wouldn't mind him going out? Like I look at him as really like the professional pro hero. Like you got Endeavor, We know everything about Endeavor, his past and all that. Hawks is like the laid back spy killer type hero. Genus is like the real deal. Like out of all the top 10, like he's the real top hero. Like in that regard, like even
talking about.
I think he has the most. He has the
Genus has like the most presence. He's like, he shows up and he's professional. Like Genus sounds like looks like somebody who would also hand you like tax documents or you'd see at an H&R Block.
Approval rating. He's the most.
He has the same.
The most experience.
He has a similar type of like campy attitude like All Might does. That's why like I think Genus is so loved by the hero community.
Plus he's so pure. That nigga really be. He really the only person I ever hear about talking like pure evil and stressed by the denim like corny shit like that. I'd be like, yeah, this nigga is like real deal.
He is painfully corny. Actually,
I do think Genus is gonna die. I've been very much worried about Genus ever since Deku didn't arrive in this fight, and even before, because Genus I think is a character that's kind of set up to die. Because
my thing is Genus would have died during the war if Dabi was even a fraction more concerned with him.
Yeah, I mean, Genus would have died multiple times, even during Kamino War.
That's my boy.
He's a cockroach. Like I said, he's a cockroach.
Dabi could have killed that nigga if he wanted to. Mirio say that nigga ass.
It took an injured Bakugo, Ida, and Najire plus
to hold
Mirio
him down
to like knock back the no-moves so that he could get to like keep doing what he needed to do, and that was against a drug mafia. So like.
And he was talking crap back then too. So yeah, this is the thing.
Nah, Genus, you know what? Genus is the PR hero. That's what I was trying to say. He's the PR. He's because this isn't the first time he gave us a speech like this. He did the same thing in 294 when like Compressed did his thing. He's like, oh, we did all this hard work to get to this point. Like, and he's doing the same thing here. Like, oh, everybody put in their effort together to make this happen. Like, he's the hopeful, like, we will win the day type hero.
Yeah, all the threads came together to make for this one grand thing.
Super cool shoelace. Yeah,
super cool shoelace. He was like,
he also really doesn't have for somebody who is like a top hero and a hero who has been around for a while now. He has very little personal baggage in this whole thing.
Because what I like about Genus and Fat Gum, they're complete stationary characters, static characters, but they fucking love, and you don't need anything else. It's just their actions elevate who they are as a person. Fat Gum been the same nigga since he was introduced. He don't need some backstory to make him better than what he is. And same way with Genus. It's just these characters, these characters. And they simply got the perfect design, cool quirks, and cool moments to just That's all they need. They don't need to elevate or grow or this and other. They're already set perfect as the way they are.
Which is why I'm confused with Fatgum, because I never saw Kirishima.
What you mean?
Back when we saw all the heroes, pop out of the
we saw Kirishima. We didn't see who he went with, but we saw Kirishima.
We saw Kirishima?
Yeah, he was in the
Kirishima came out with Shoto.
He was in the one with Shoto and them.
Oh,
I don't know where he got teleported to. I don't know if I remember that. I know he came out with Shoto though.
I'm pretty sure he should still be with Fat Gum. He's a perfect location just to go ahead.
I hope so.
I mean, because every other location, we can see what kids will wear. So I'm pretty sure who we don't see should be on the menu. For the most part.
I think with the Shigaraki fight, maybe it goes in like three phases. Like the pro heroes try. Oh, sorry.
Talking about death flags.
Hold on, Tarnish was about to say something before that.
I was about to ask Aniki something. You peep how Manuel has the most important job on the battlefield again?
Yeah.
He's so much.
A drop hero.
Look, he's the number 222 hero. Like,
which hey, I know I got here a little later, but have we talked about Monoma yet?
No, we didn't go in depth.
A little bit.
Actually, I was going to ask a question about him, because how are we going to deal with Monoma? Is he just going to be in the background, or is he going to have more shine?
More shine for sure.
Yeah,
because he's a target now.
Well, see, I'm not even talking about shine, because a lot of people are trying to be like, oh, he's going to use Warp Gate to try to get Deku back.
I was just going to say
can't afford.
Nah, I don't know.
He can't do it anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that might be.
He can't do that. If he leaves,
it's gone. It's done. Everyone dies.
He can't leave where he's at right now.
Unless Aizawa takes.
Hold on. Before we go deep, Andrew sent a heart. It's a super chat.
Thank you, Andrew.
Love you too, Andrew. All right, now back to this discussion because this shit might get good.
I do think Monoma could technically leave for like a hot minute and Aizawa takes over, because he is mostly useless, but not completely useless. Maybe like he still has one eye, so maybe he could still do something.
Aizawa himself said he's done at this point.
I think that for the most part, I think Monoma has remained. But I think if it's absolutely necessary, and it is necessary to get Deku there, maybe Aizawa could step up again. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about in terms of death flags. I think this chapter with Shigaraki being like, "You're not so cool after all." Aizawa got kind of a death flag for me.
Yeah, Aizawa.
I see the death flag. I see the death flags for him too.
When I saw that, I said, "Oh my god, no!"
Hey, Almighty, listen.
He's on the chopping block.
Like, hey, Almighty, hey, this time the denim ain't coming through, bro.
Yeah,
we going out here butt naked. Fuck your threads, nigga. Fuck your threads, nigga. We coming out here butt naked, ass out.
When Horikoshi say that, that Bakugo is going to be important, that maybe because the pro heroes will basically get clapped and they will just be the UA students trying to survive against Shiggy until Deku comes or something. Like, I don't know. And then Bakugo leads him or something.
You're right, Daniel.
Bakugo and Shigaraki, they're going to shoot the 30 seconds. Yeah, that's how long the fight going to last until he gets smoked. But they're going to have a really good fight. They're going to have a good fight, but it's going to be short and sweet. And Bakugo's going to be the last line of defense before Deku comes for sure.
Look, honestly, at this point, let's put it like this. Let's actually get into depth on this one. All right, let's break this down here. So, in order for Deku to get here, right? All this counting on Deku, this, that, and the other, but he can't move like Shigaraki can move. So the only way to get Deku into this position would be that you use Monoma to bring Deku here. Now let's look at the factors of this. All right, so we got Aizawa, who's basically fucking useless. The best you can get out of him is 5 seconds. On account of that, they don't know where the fuck Deku is, so they have to find that information out. And who knows if like the radius range can work for these niggas or not? If everybody's just on their own, we don't know.
Only they had Pixie Bumps quiet
because they already, but they 10 kilometers apart at this point. We know for a fact.
My thing is that it could have been 5 minutes already. He might have already lost one day.
Yeah, it may have already been 5 minutes. There are a lot of factors at play here, so I wouldn't just count on. All right, Monoma's just gonna warp Deku back, and then at that point, it's like, all right, well, at the same counter, Deku has to talk to Toga and then he's gonna be dealing with those high ends. We don't know who else they have. We only seen Gang Orca, and Hanzo can match Gang Orca's energy because especially his name the water. So we don't know they got extra good backup to be dealing with the high end normals because Deku not just gonna leave there. So it's like, all right, Deku, what you gonna do? They can't just like leave it to us, Deku, and you only got like Gang Orca's the heaviest hitter you got after Deku leave. Like, and they gotta fight some high ends, and Gang Orca's preoccupied. It's like, I can't lead these niggas, so what do I do here and there? So it's like, all right, we can't just count on Monoma because it's not a surefire. He can just, they can even know where Deku's at, and they can just go get him, bring him back here. And that Aizawa shit, Shigaraki is not phased anymore by that. That like that's like I told y'all, they may use, like I kept telling y'all, it's like, whether they use Erasure, they should use Erasure. I'm like, it's not gonna be the same thing like the war, just to hold Shigaraki and bring him down a peg. That shit's not gonna work. You see how he just did this, and they like, oh fuck, he shouldn't have been able to do this. What the fuck is this? And now you got Mirko out of commission already, dead or Bane. She's out of commission because she lost her fucking leg and her arm. Now what else y'all got? It's like, and if Shigaraki just wants to fall down into the ground because there's grass and trees below them, if you've been paying attention, he's out of sight. Or he just wants to go and use his brute strength and start chucking shit at niggas. He could do that too. He not just, this isn't the same as an open plain battlefield like it was at the war. It's not gonna be the same game. And they had Deku there to keep using 100% or at least use something near Shigaraki's level. The same game plan.
They needed him.
They really needed him here. So I need like everybody to process that. Him not being here is a major factor.
That's
that
what
nobody's keeping up with Shigaraki, and that whole not having a quirk not really gonna fucking matter because at 75% he beat everybody's asses.
Wait, so that's a question, right? So from what we've seen, and I noticed in the Viz officials, I couldn't see properly in the Friday scans, but where Monoma, Aizawa, and Manuel are on a platform that's equal to the floor of UA, the ground. If so, Shigaraki drops, couldn't he use the trees as cover? But if so, could they use the plates to bounce it back up?
But they wouldn't be able to keep up with him. That nigga moving fast as they said his speed is prime. Oh my, his speech bubbles can't keep up. Genus can't even keep up. So them trying to calculate where he's going to step, that's brain processing, and that's not gonna work at any way, shape, or form. Like them rebuilding a place that was destroyed. Okay. Them trying to keep up with his fucking fast ass speed when Endeavor and them couldn't even do that, that's not gonna work.
So my thinking with that is that I'm pretty sure Monoma is outside of the UA barrier.
Yeah.
So it's not, he really shouldn't get caught. But at the same time, I see what you mean by like the trees and stuff, but I kind of think that any position where, like, if Shigaraki tries to go hide behind a tree or something, then they just immediately register, like when he does that, like he said, manipulate the terrain. Because that's what I figured the sky platforms were for, because even though Shigaraki doesn't necessarily have a flight quirk, and if he still had wings, we might have seen them pop out already before he got the quirk erased or whatever. Or if he can manipulate his physiology this much, then he would, in theory, still be able to like spawn the wings. So we can kind of assume that quirk might have been destroyed. But by having the platforms be attached to carbon fiber cables, any platform that Shigaraki uses is also susceptible to being manipulated by Genus. So it creates a situation where there's no ideal location for Shigaraki to go. And they give anywhere he goes where they can't see, they have people with projectile quirks that technically can just bomb them. So like you go hide behind a building and we just blow up the building. Cool.
But at the same time, that's just him just trying to get out the way to use his quirks fully. He only needs a split second at that point. Cause like he said, if I can hide within 1 split second, because niggas can't keep up with him with just speed alone. So if he just needs 1 second and use one quirk like he did before, he was like, all right, y'all had your fun. You so proud of your little toys. He's like, one well-placed shockwave, and he was about to blast that bitch, and then that shit coming down. Even at that, if he just hits the pillars, this is like a bunch of stuff he could do to break the thing down that he doesn't need quirks. Remember, his brute strength alone is fucking insane.
All might tier.
Like just hitting a couple pillars if he wants to with this augmentation or whatever. And then think about it. Anybody shooting projectiles has to get close, and he can shoot a projectile too at that point. So get close if you want to, and you might end up like
air
Mirko.
pressure. He can move with the air pressure too. All you gotta do is move his arm. And
just like how Deku does his little Air Force shit.
We've seen him do that before.
So Shigaraki's cards are not all dealt out either. So like he got just as many tricks, and these niggas are just as still as much.
And one of them is already down.
Yeah. So this is their uphill battle. Like their ace not being here, like they had a really like they had a 50-50 chance, maybe 60, if like Deku was actually here. And he would just risk it all at 100% and did this shit. But now that he's not here and only one of their players got taken off the board already, it's like, and Shigaraki's unfazed right now. He don't give a fuck. He could kill everybody without his quirk, honestly, if he wanted to.
He's not nervous.
Like, if he wanted to, he could literally kill every single one of these people without this shit.
I also want to say, if you guys haven't liked the stream, also subscribe if you haven't. And check out most of Anaki's videos because they're all great.
He said most.
All of them.
Most.
Damn, most.
Yeah, most, because I
Thomas said he
Damn. Only most.
I mean, you know, if you haven't seen most of it, go watch it.
No. I know it's on.
No.
Plus, I have old videos that I'm like,
Hold on, Tarnish.
Tarnish speaking. You know why he said most? You know why he said most? He said most because Aniki got some gaming videos up from 8 years ago.
No, yeah, those are supposed to be private now, man.
Yeah, if you didn't watch those,
I thought I fixed those.
Yeah, if you didn't watch,
just remind me of the. What'd you think of the movie? Oh, it was pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. What do you mean pretty good?
Call it trash.
Yeah. Hey man, you know what? Shit. Speaking of, seeing a movie. Boy, the Batman was gas as fuck.
I'm watching it.
Yes, it was.
I'm excited.
God, I love that.
Seen it yet. Chill out.
Don't see it.
Neither.
Robert Pattinson. Zoe Kravitz.
Spoilers.
Meow.
No spoilers. It's gas still.
Oh my god.
I'm waiting for Tuesday.
I never spoiled, but shout out to Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson. Man, listen, I can't say what I want to say about Zoe Kravitz on stream. So listen, you gotta catch me.
I get it.
I'm gonna need you to chill.
You gotta catch me at the dark on that one, son.
We're about to get Aniki canceled.
I have chill.
Man, trying to put it all on the line. I'm sick.
Nah, man, but that actually definitely go see the Batman. I don't give a fuck what nobody.
I can't wait.
That shit was gas. Do not get spoiled. Woo.
Passing is great. I'm excited to see how he does.
The reaction to it is very divisive. I've noticed. Some people are like it's a masterpiece. Some people are like it's amazing. Some people are like it's.
I was going to talk about the
It's between those three. I've heard.
You about to say what, Tony?
I heard it was just good. Like I just wanted to see it. I just heard good things.
Yeah. Well, obviously, no spoilers. Obviously, I think people just go in like blind and just enjoy it.
The cinematography, bro. That's just Matt Reeves.
Oh my god, the cinematography is so good.
When Matt Reeves and whoever he be having,
this man was like, no spoilers, but damn, I'm a good.
Damn,
dude.
All I know is that
the music, like,
noir, so I'm happy.
Michael Giacchino is ridiculous, man. How do you do Spider-Man in this?
If you like timpanis, you're gonna love Batman.
These guys.
Oh god.
Avengers.
So I love how Hori gave us the Bakugo Mirko interaction before her death. Good goat things.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That
I would have loved to see Bakugo and America go on a team up mission. I mean, they already technically have, but I meant like in canon. Like,
actually, I have a question about Bakugo.
I guess it's canon, but you know.
Nah. Team up missions don't really count. I would say I thought at first, but the way it would work, where their timeline is, they have to everybody specifically match with a certain person. So them jumping around with a different mentor wouldn't make sense within the story, because if he's specifically partnered with Endeavor, then what y'all doing with Mirko over here? And she doesn't work with him.
So I have a question about Bakugo in this chapter, right?
She don't even take interns, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it says canonically she doesn't have sidekicks or none of that. My fault, Thomas.
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to ask, because Bala posted this in Viz Officials. There's something on Bakugo's back. It's like, it looks like a canister. What would that be? Like a flash bag? Maybe more sweat?
Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
I was thinking it might help with his cluster ability, because he says that sometimes he sweats too much. It might be something to help with that.
Oh yeah.
or a jetpack. Could be a little jetpack.
Or a final like blast, maybe like all the sweat in this one location to have one stupid OP final blast or something.
Well, you know what? That would make sense because it's like imagine it's like a nuke grenade because it's the mini ones pack a real good punch, but the fact that like if you think like it's just like a mini grenade or like a smaller nuke, that will fit too. Because I mean, most people for me, most of I sweat is on my back more than any place before I sweat on my forehead or my pits on my back. So like,
literally,
if like it's absorption mainly through the back, so to speak, then it was like, all right. I mean, they got the technology to make shit circulate, just how Shoto has this, the shits on his back to help vent out.
Just like Ayama.
Yeah, so it's like, well, it could absorb the sweat from his back, and that'd be like, oh, my make or break, throwing this bitch out type beat. You feel me?
I would love to see Bakugo use that like Endeavor did versus Hood, where he was shooting flames from the back of his back.
We've all seen the third movie, right?
Yes, the explosives that he had. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they actually did pack a lot of punch.
Well, my thing was also like the way it was used in that fight, where he was like, Bakugo used every single support item that he had.
Everyone.
Which was dope actually, because like when I was watching the fight and it was like grenade. I was like, is he? Oh no, bro.
Landmines.
He was going all out. That's how I need him to fight Shigaraki. I need a fight on that level.
I mean,
I need to see his gauntlet shoot forward. That's what I want to see.
He ain't got no damn choice. So,
Speaking of the third movie, like I love the fights, but I just hated how unrealistic it was. I was like, come on, you're telling me Bakugo, Shota, and Deku could do this now? I was just like, no.
See,
like,
okay, so
disbelief, badish.
One of my things about that though is that it's not that crazy when you factor in when's the last time you saw a howitzer impact.
Yep.
Okay, fair.
I mean, then again,
so like the last howitzer impact you saw canonically took place in May.
Yep.
So it's like if this is supposed to be in December, because all the like technique focus Bakugo's had has been on smaller, more precise, higher power but small and focused. But like we haven't seen him actually do like I'm gonna do a really, really, really big explosion in a while.
I mean, you also have to factor in the fact that this is just the move. It's animation taking it to the next level. Look at Ida during joint training.
True.
He is in the Flash. It's just, it's just exaggerated.
I don't know. In the anime, I can. It's exaggerated, but I can at least kind of say, okay, do you know what? The look of this, maybe it makes sense, right? But with the movie, like for example, I mean, okay, maybe Bakugo's one is more justifiable. Yeah, it was more Shota, especially Deku.
Yeah,
my
boy got the best scene.
Okay, so with Deku, here's what I'm gonna say. There's a small detail that I pointed out to my buddies as soon as we started leaving the theater. At no point in the film do they give you a hard percentage confirmation.
Yep. Precisely.
There's not a single time where they actually state what percentage Deku's using.
That is very true.
I mean, you can kind of guess with a certain attacks.
You told me that before.
I mean, you can kind of guess.
But still, the final attack is 100%. Like that one, green eyes and
the implications are.
It don't have to be though. It don't have to be.
So it's like I could, because like one of the things that's also worth noting that I feel like I've never seen anybody mention is that one of the things Deku talked about was during the fight was that he was actually dropping his percentages, doing the opposite of Air Force when he would go in. So it's like he would build up the speed and then the force would be the momentum, not him actually utilizing the power so that it wouldn't blow back as hard. So I'm like, we don't get an actual percentage. He was dropping it a lot. You can do Air Force smashes at 20% technically. So he doesn't have to be at a full 100. His hair being blue could matter, but at the same time, that's largely an anime aesthetic choice. So
you could kind of guess what a few attacks where his percentage could be, because a lot of the time in the movie, he is using St. Louis Smash Air Force, especially when he uses it against, where he doesn't when he like flips around on the tree and then he kicked for it. Oh my God. Great scene, by the way. Just have to hold
incredible
fanboyism. But yeah, you can kind of guess, but Anaki's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really mind anyway because his opponent has like a quirk that is
what
kind
I
of
really want
suited
to
to
see
fight
is
him.
how to impact with
A full
cluster.
counter.
That'd be godly.
You said full counter. I'm finished.
Yeah, it is. That's essentially like turn. He's Estarossa.
To be fair,
But
though,
yeah.
I will
Damn,
admit,
they
though,
ruined
other than,
Estarossa.
They did. I feel so bad because he's such a cool character.
He was my favorite character, and then they gave him this
Was he?
weird
Oh,
striped
I feel
suit.
so bad. I mean, I feel bad for Escanor fans, though. They got one of the best
Should I
fights
just
in the
said
manga.
not for that, not for me. That
Why would I hate somebody weaker than myself?
Yes.
Oh, that was shit
the
talking.
biggest flex I've ever seen. Like, come on. I'm like, how are you this cocky? Like, bro.
Why are you so cool and cocky?
Top 3
I
lines
think
I've ever seen in my life, no matter the medium. Top 3
There's
lines.
like an
I
additional
loved it.
irony to him talking down Estarossa of all people. It's like this additional irony where it's like, why should I hate somebody who's weaker than me? And Estarossa is like the original you, man.
I mean, Cameron, that gas is essentially trigger on like plus ultra levels. I'm surprised they didn't bring that back. Like at least incorporate it to the final battle.
I do wish All Might was that cocky sometimes. I mean, All Might, he was cocky, yeah, to be fair. He was like, oh, I beat Nobu. I could have done it in 5 hits in my prime. But I would love to see All Might with some Escanor level of cockiness. Like, that would be sweet, man.
I mean,
Well,
kind
and
of
when All Might
exuberated that during the
says
final
something like
exams.
that, when like All Might says something like that, he's like legit being like, man, I've gotten weaker. Man, I could have been so much cooler. Like he's being like humble bragging.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it.
You know, I could be like this, but I'm not. But you know, if I was,
yeah, he's not going in to make you cry when you get to jail.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the closest we got to All Might being kind of like or Escanor is kind of final exams where he just stops talking. He stops fighting. He's just chilling right next to Bakugo. He's like, huh, that Deku, yeah, your relationship with him, huh?
Pretty cool.
I forget. Also, man, for the record, you guys started mentioning 7 Deadly Sins, and I purposely tuned out because I didn't want to relive that disappointment.
Listen, we have the manga. That's all that matters.
I'm so happy.
Exactly.
No.
What do you mean no?
Did you read the end of 7 Deadly Sins?
Yeah, but it like
I could barely get
exactly.
This was so
but we're not talking about the ending now, all right?
Estarossa was my favorite character.
I didn't get there, and I don't plan on getting there, so I'm good.
Like,
save yourself.
Dude, dog. What's crazy is that I know the exact moment when the series just started
bubbling. Yeah, it goes
it's
down.
exactly when the center shows up. It's like, I'm the center. And then everything after that ends up being ass, basically.
I mean, like, to be fair, 7 Deadly Sins was always ass because they never incorporate Ireland. Why? It's literally next to door. Oh, I don't get it. I get no representation, but you know what? That's fine.
Like,
I think Australia doesn't, so Ian is also.
Imagine if there was an
let's
Irish
be honest.
anime.
Let's be honest. In
Canadian.
hindsight, you're kind of glad they didn't incorporate them, right?
Yeah, true. But my hero, though.
I mean, King Arthur is rotating in his grave, right? What do I do to this character? Just
let's see. I think we've basically hit most of the points that we all wanted to talk about because we hit that segue point, which means I'm gonna start ending the stream here so that way I can still record with good daylight. So
sorry, one last thing. Have you talked about Cementos yet? The whole Cementos thing.
It's about how he's still cool.
The whole Shigaraki counter.
Actually,
the whole
one thing I will
stuff.
say is he secreting cement here?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because like we've seen him manipulate other cement a lot, but this is probably the first time we see him just straight up like. Just,
it looks like he got a pony.
It looks like
it looked like he got a ponytail in that panel. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
He usually does.
He looks like
I
he's
mean,
holding a fog machine type.
he had to like make the stage at the sports festival, right?
Yeah.
That was made from just him, right?
Yeah,
No, because like there was a whole tunnel that like a little tube that like had stuff flowing through it.
I mean, you can kind of guess that he can do that since we know that he was a massive help with Troy.
Oh yeah,
I always thought that was what he's doing. I'm confused that it wasn't.
That's not, yeah. Like if you actually like when you look at it closer, like how it's usually depicted, he's usually manipulating other concrete, not generating it. Which is, I guess, that's why you were pointing it out, right? Hello?
To me?
Hi.
Whoever brought up the cement toss thing.
Or me. It was me. Me. I just brought more like the fact that he was really, really good in terms of like in part of the stage setting and helping with the whole process of being able to keep Shigaraki at bay. That was what I was thinking. But yeah, the whole security thing, that's pretty interesting though, to be fair. I mean, he's only, like you said, I think he's only done it bit by bit, right? I don't think he's done it continuously.
Like, I didn't know that was new. I thought
because like you kind of could imply that like we've been so introduced to him like manipulating his surroundings, like against Kirishima and Sato.
Yeah, and like if you look back to the war arc, he just moved all the concrete.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at it because it's kind of like how Giten being able to manipulate the temperature of ice. To me, I was like, well, the whole awakening video goes on the rant, of course, but it's like when a fire user is like, I'll just turn up the heat, nobody's like, oh shit, he can make fire and make it hotter. This is crazy. So it's like an ice user being able to make his ice colder should not be that revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
True.
By the way, what exactly is power loader's quirk?
We don't know.
Just like tunnels
that let him dig tunnels and stuff. Yeah.
He's just a mechanic. He's just a mechanic more than anything. He's just a really good
Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Kind of like May. Like May has a quirk, but she doesn't really like use it like that.
Yeah.
It's
her quirk is good for detail work because she can just zoom in.
Yeah,
close.
it's the same with David Shields, where
I'm assuming he uses his quirk
finger.
to get like around this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's basically just like running around through all these tunnels, like putting stuff where it needs to go, I guess.
Do you think he's the one who made the whole tunnel system on the UA? Like just him? Just like burrowing?
Maybe
like
not him alone, but he definitely
it's
was.
Not any technology at all, he just throws it.
Yeah, he's like a mole. He just like carving out like a tunnel. That'd be funny. That could be a great gag.
Also, I just realized that I'm like, man, ectoplasm is involved in every construction job because he can make 30 of them. So
yep.
But you realize like there's a moving company in my city called 2 Men in a Truck.
Oh.
And like you get 2 men in a moving truck. And I'm like, man, he didn't have to, like, he could have got his quirk license and just started helping people move. Like, that would have been way safer. He wouldn't have lost his legs. I don't know. Just a random thought now looking at this. Like, whenever I see them use their quirks in really practical ways, then I think of even more practical utilization.
Yeah, but that's for a lot of characters too, right?
So,
like, the mentors too could have just gone into construction and lived a relatively safe life.
Wait, Anaki, are you saying that, like, Oshiko's parents could just hire him just to help out?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
If they had those connects, they would be able to just hire ectoplasm, and that would also help offset the cost of machinery because they would.
So would they all get individual pay, or would one get the pay?
I think you just pay one ectoplasm the pay of like 3 niggas, and he walks away happy with that.
So before we close out, final statements. Who changed my name said, "What is 7 Deadly Sins?" So I want to answer that real quick. We got like 2 things to address before we go.
Lost hope.
That's
basically something
that, the question.
Yeah, Lost Hope. Something that started out really good, and yeah, it just didn't end that well. Second thing is, let's last conversation. They've been talking about this Shiggy hand shit. Anybody want to address it? All I got to say is Shiggy is not at 100% complete. There's a 1% missing. I'm betting money on it because he still hasn't regrown those 2 little fingers, and all this hype for 100%. The struggles we've gone through, and he just popped back up, and he had 1%. Nah, it's a 1% missing, like on some mob cycle shit. And I'm waiting for it.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, because this is left hand that got damaged, right?
It's the fingers are growing back. Like I said, like
they're growing back.
It was nubs. It was nubs before. Like they're fingers now, basically.
Yeah, they're baby fingers, but they haven't fully like. If he was 100%, it should have all been like perfectly intact. There's no reason to bring them slightly back halfway and then just leave it ugly as little baby fingers. Like if it coming back, they might as well just be a full damn hand at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, am I the only person who likes that the ports on there's a random close-up shot in the panel when they're talking about it shall be your coffin in the sky, but it also kind of looked like Garaki. I can't be the only one who like.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it now.
Is that like I was like, wait, is that? I was like, no, that's not him. That's just. But there's just something that I felt like.
It's like that shot in the anime where you see it's like a close-up shot. It's like his face is warped. It looks like that. I never noticed that. That's
wait, Ease, when you said like the hand shit, you mean like at the end of the chapter that hand shit?
No, I mean
Tetsuo.
Like I mean like we know he's Tetsuo. By the way, I got Thomas to Akira.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. It's very good.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna have to go now, so I'll catch you guys in a bit. But it was a great stream though. Love seeing you guys.
All right.
Good luck, Divey.
Mm-hmm. All right, man.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Yep.
Whatever page it is, it's that page. It's like the first page. You can see it. Tarnish, like the hands that should be back.
Oh, the hand those hands.
Yeah,
those hands. Yeah, I've been like those coming back.
Yeah, like, but the thing is, they haven't fully formed back. So, and he didn't take any damage at that point. So it's not like they got destroyed and came back. So, like I'm saying, that's another reason I don't believe it's at 100%. Because if they were going to come back, they should have just fucking been back. There's no point to have ugly little fingers.
Yeah, no, like you might as well just finish the job.
Yeah, might as well just finish the job.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the last thing we addressed.
99.9% until Deku comes, then he's gonna go to 100%.
I'm telling you, some mob.
Maybe that's why All For One said that Shigaraki being around Deku isn't a good idea because he's waiting until he encounters One For All to like get completed, or maybe that's like the final push he needs.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah,
that would be rough.
Very possible. That's rough, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Let's start the final thoughts though. Let's start going around the horn real quick. Let's start with Watkins. Final thoughts.
Ooh, this was a fun chapter to see. Don't feel good about Best Genus and Mirko making it out of here. Excuse me. Let's see what else. Art was phenomenal this chapter. Like, I don't know if anybody mentioned it today, but God, these drawings of Shigaraki, top tier. The big shots that we see of like UA, dog, shut up. Give me, the shots of UA, like as we see like the jets, like, or what are they, like the hover thing, the hover jets or whatever, like around the school. Just seeing those shots is really nice, really cool. Seeing some second and third years with Kaminari. Hey, look, confirmation, and a look at what they are. Neat. The whole Monoma thing, like, if he knows where Deku, if he finds out where Deku is, and they have like just the slimmest of chances, I could see that happening. They're gonna have to make some time for that, because I think even just a split second without erasure on Shigaraki right now that's a suicide mission, even with just that moment. And then the Tetsuo thing at the end, I like it. It looks great. I hope Horikoshi does a horror manga in the future. But yeah, pretty good. I was quite pleased. Can't wait for next week.
Let's see. Let's go with Tarnish. Wait, is Tarnish still here?
Good chapter. My favorite thing was honestly the end. She dead. Can't nobody tell me she's not dead, man. And if she's not dead, she crippled. And then if she crippled, then she's gonna try to fight again, then she's gonna die. Genus gonna die. But above all else, I'm just happy to see Shigaraki again as Shigaraki, because he said, "Yo, don't mess up my fight me and he's calling Eraserhead uncool. So that's him. And I don't know, like, I feel like this fight, this is really just going to be like the repeat of the war at the start. Like, they're going to try to replicate the same battle, and it's going to go left. Because they already brought it up at the end of the chapter. Like, not even to mention, Shigaraki's body was still imperfect in Jaku. So they're dealing with an unknown, like I said earlier. They don't know this man and what he's capable of now compared to before. And this is already turning out to be a way different fight. I don't know how Deku gets here. I'm gonna just leave that up to Hori. Because I don't think Monoma even, like, he might not have Warp Gate anymore. It might have been like his time limit already since he first copied it. Because I don't think he went back to Kurogiri in those 5 minutes to where, you know, he teleported everybody, then went to Aizawa, took his quirk, and now this little scuffle. He might not even have it. And if he doesn't have it, then that's even worse. And that means that more chaos gonna happen here. And this is just one battlefield. Who knows what's gonna go wrong at the other locations? So we're just gonna have to see. Like, waiting week to week gonna be painful, really painful. But that's all I got.
You want to say a last piece about Dr. Stone in there?
Dr. Stone, listen, I'm not ready to talk about it yet. The art was gas, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because I was like,
honest, the implication is at the end, like, of what's gonna happen. I don't know. I need, like, it's one of those, like, I hate endings like where I want more, because it's like that's the worst type of ending you can give me, where it's like, no, I love this series too much, give me more. You can't close it out like that, and they close it out like that.
Like, I know why they closed it out there, because it's like that's not a story that you actually want to complete, because then you have to for sure address some hard quantum science stuff that hasn't been completely solved in real life yet. So it would contradict the story for it to go beyond that. But then you just shouldn't have brought that up as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be the type of ending where it's like, it's the end for us, but not the end for the characters. I knew it was going to be like that, but not to this degree, where it's like, we're not, their story's just beginning, and for us, it's closing out.
The way that they just did that made it an unfulfilling ending. Like, everybody, I think all of us agree that it would have been cool to just like have that the story is continuing, because even from just like a political standpoint alone, there's just a bunch of stuff that they could do. But getting the specific way that it ended, it's like, all right, fine, I guess. Just go there. And all right, cool, bye. Leaves a weird taste.
I think they wanted to leave it up to interpretation, like, oh, you could create your own ending type shit. But then it's like, nah, I kind of don't want to do that.
Like, I didn't follow this story to make up my own ending. You better give me one. Like, yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel about that. That's all. Anyway, let's go with Sayez.
I really like the chapter. I'm impressed with this plan by the heroes. They really poured all their resources into this, which make me much more worried about whether they understaffed the other teams. But so far, at least in the Shigaraki team, they put a lot of work into this. And if Deku would have been there, this could have worked. Sadly, he's not there, so it's not looking too good, even if the plan is as good as they could have come up with. Genus is, of course, talking too much, way too much. And I feel very worried about him. I also feel worried about Aizawa, but I hope that at least Edgeshot gets out of here. Mirko, I'm not iffy. Like, she wasn't on my list of characters that are going to die anytime soon, but now she looks as if she's at least very injured, so I don't really know what to do with her. I hope that if Edgeshot dies, which I don't hope, that at least we get to see some more of him, because I think of the top 5 heroes, he's always been kind of the one that we saw least of. And I really think he has a neat quirk. I don't really know why he is here, because I don't think he has the kind of quirk that could damage Shigaraki all that much. So I'm not really sure why Edgeshot is necessary in this team, but they really just put a lot of their strong guys into this. I hope we get to see Bakugo being really good, and I hope that we get to see more from Monoma. I'm really pleased that they really, as expected, gave him erasure and I'm looking forward to if there is going to be more of that of Monoma just being.
We all agree it would have been insanity for him to not get Erasure, right?
Yeah, it would have been. This is pretty expected, but it's pretty cool too. I think Manuel buffed up from the panel. He looks kind of more buff than before. I don't know. And other than that, I really I think that even though he's not my favorite character, watching Shigaraki is always a treat because just artistically, I think he's one of the most unique characters to look at. He just looks awesome. And so
say it's his fire husband wasn't here, so she started gassing the water guy.
You see the vision?
No, I said he buffed up. But that's it. I mean, other than that, he's just. The funny thing with Manuel is that I think he kind of ended up with Aizawa during the war by accident. Kind of. It kind of came. It seemed like they just ended up being able to escape together, so they just work together. And now he's just stuck in this position, and he's like, "Yeah, what am I doing here?" I'm so thoroughly outmatched.
No,
but
he's going to be top 10 just off that alone.
Yeah, but he's pretty. He has an important role. Nigga
need a fucking platinum, almighty Omega Ultra heart.
But just to make sure, Manuel can't create water, right? He can't just manipulate water that's already there. At least that's.
Yeah, he can only manipulate. He can only manipulate water that's there. He can't create it from scratch like Shoto. Like Shoto does ice and it never does fire. They can't. Yeah.
So yeah, well, it was a really good chapter. I think all of us expected to first get into the Toga Deku fight, but I guess it makes also sense to go into this one first. And I am kind of confused how, even though this ends pretty shocking with Mirko, whatever, overall the chapter has a pretty optimistic tone, even though they pretty much in the first page realized Deku isn't there. But even still, they're all smiling and all like, let's do this. And Best Genus is very cockily explaining the whole plan. It's kind of oddly optimistic, the tone of the whole chapter.
I mean, I feel like that was intentional. Like, we're like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, they got it. Oh. Okay, then. They don't got it. And now you got to sit here and evaluate, like, how bad is this plan about to go to shit? Like, and the answer is, we don't know now. So now we're just like, all right, I guess we'll wait and see what happens here. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Ian.
It was just a really fun chapter. Like, I'm really happy that we're in full fan service mode, where it's just like, all right, this character you like gets to do something, and this character you like gets to do something, and this character. And so as long as it just kind of keeps doing that for a while, this is definitely going to be like a really just fun set of chapters for this opening act of just like, I'm like, I want to see more of Class B characters doing stuff. I want to see more of, Class A. And, he's already established that he's going to do that with a lot of these characters. So I think that this is a great opener for it. And like I said, I'm just very impressed that he made me okay with Sky High being a thing in this world. And I'm not just like, ugh, this is lame. I'm like, good job, May. I figured you could do this somehow. So I really liked it. It was just a really fun chapter. So
Thomas.
First off, I want to say that like when the spoilers came out, I was kind of conflicted because I wanted to see, not because I love Deku, but it's I wanted to see the conflict between Toga, Deku, and Ochako. But I got this chapter and it's fantastic. I think there's like barely any flaws. I think Horikoshi is at his top of the game. I also love the fact that up to this point, I wasn't really too sure how the plates worked. And I got the explanation in a very funny way possible, because when I first saw Shiki got and knocked up to the sky, all I heard was the boing sound effect. That's it. I think the chapter is very solid. Also, I want to say thank you for inviting me on. I really appreciate it. This is great. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. It's a pleasure to have you on, Thomas. I enjoyed having you here. I'm sure everybody enjoyed having you on too. Kind of just fell in pretty seamlessly, so that was good.
Thank you.
All right. Now you already know what time it is. You don't get a volume warning. You've been here too many times.
It is time.
You already know what time it is, man. Come on,
Archbishop
y'all.
East.
All right, let's take us home. Oh man, absolutely fantastic chapter. I've been waiting on these niggas to throw these goddamn hands, and boy, whoo. Horikoshi, you are the man. Listen, I'm absolutely satisfied, man. Finally, Shiggy back like he should be. We ain't fully dealt with that nutsack face on the backside, but listen, when we get there, we get there. For now, he ain't butting in, getting fucking annoying. Shigaraki got his time to shine. He finna catch bodies like he should, as if he's going to become the greatest evil. Even if he don't take over, he need to have catch bodies and something, become an actual threat. If he's like, no matter what the case is. So this is definitely a fitting stage, and it's actually a smarter move not to have Deku and Shigaraki meet up first off for various reasons. The list could go on. But now Shigaraki gets to stunt and do his own thing. And honestly, I thought we were going to do Toga and Deku first. But if we're looking at it from a plot point type of thing, it's actually best we cover here first more than anything. This is in order to set the stage. And if, hey, man, this is just a precursor and this is the appetizer for what's to come. Jeez, boy, I don't want to fucking imagine what the fucking main core looking like, boy. What to deserve that bitch. Man, listen, this series honestly just fucking feeds my taste and satisfies me, and I'm always rewarded because I get to constantly see background characters, or more so utility characters, as Ndot likes to call them. They come in and they get their shine and their desperation. They do what they do. I'm going to address a few things real quick. One, I do not believe Shigaraki is at 100%. This is 99.9. And I do believe 1% will come in like the Mob Psycho type beat. Second, if you believe this is all Yaya Momo and fucking Denki Kaminari are going to do for the last bit of this section, you are highly mistaken. And some characters not get sidelined. This is better for them to use a support utility. It's not all about being in the spotlight. Everybody is making a team effort in a group. It's not always about fighting, but they will get better service and acts before they go out with however this ends. All right. Let me just address that. So let me talk about they getting the shaft, this sideline, none of this, that, and the other. All right. That's it. As far as people winning 1v1s and hands and team battles, that'll come later when it's less plot relevant characters and you can just throw everybody caution to the wind. Right now, some characters have plot lines to go forward, and that just is what it is. But regardless, man, we're in a fucking war. Hands being fucking thrown. It's fucking gas. It's fucking peak. I appreciate all you niggas coming back week after fucking week. Oh, man, it's time for True Blue to let loose. And, baby, I'm about to ask Horikoshi what it do because it's undefeated of the East, baby. What it do? And I appreciate y'all every week, man. And we will see y'all later.
Hey, I appreciate everybody who came through. There's a chance I'm going to be hopping on anime lately if I got enough time in my day, which might be right after this. So we'll see.
Let's go.
This chapter is insane. Look out for the solo review that's coming out soon enough. I don't know. I keep looking this way because this is where my camera was. And I'm sorry for throwing you off this entire stream.
Keep being held at gunpoint. Somebody behind the camera.
See, that is what it's. I know it looks weird, so I'm like, I got to stop and readjust to this looking this way. But yeah, in general though, Genus, I got to see him packed up. Even if he doesn't die here, I need him getting his ass beat because he's just been talking too much, like way too much, and it feels like that number 3 spot is going to his head, and it really shouldn't be. Everybody is in shambles, and you play janitor in the war, so ease up. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I like where this is going. The Tetsuo parallels stack it up. I'm gonna be reading Akira myself. I actually bought the first volume and watched the movie recently, so we'll have some fun with this. That's so yeah, that's all I really got to say. I appreciate you all for coming out. Thank you again to everybody who came through, especially thanks to Ian and Thomas for being special guests and Dieback, their DPH, of course. I know Ian is especially busy all the time now. See, I keep looking this way still, like the camera's over there.
No, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be back.
Sayas making it 2 weeks in a row. Watkins making it back. So it's good to have us so much of the team. You know, Ponzu came through earlier for a bit. All around, good shit. Tarnish, East, my good, faithful, loyal ones. Appreciate y'all. That's all.